Hello, one and all. Welcome. It's another Friday night, and you know what that means.
Oh, yeah. What?
It's time for Eberron, City of Towers. That's a telephone ringing. Hello? It's for you.
Who is it? Tell me.
It's the consequences of your actions.
Oh, no.
Hang up the phone. Cut the line.
I think the call is coming from inside the stream room at this point. Welcome, everyone. It is so great to
I can leave.
sense your presence. I know you're back there, and I'm
yeah.
glad you're here. Jacob,
Yeah.
before I do my grandstanding, do we have any announcements?
Yeah, so next week, next Saturday, we're going to be doing a little stream where we're going to be announcing what's going to be going on in the next month or so. Because in the next month, we're going to be doing, the stream schedule is going to change a little bit because Spencer and I are going on break because we're going to have a baby. And, yeah, really excited. And there is some crazy stuff in store for you guys. Emma and Pepper have been really cooking.
Truly.
I'm really excited for you guys to see it. So make sure to tune in next Saturday. We will annoy the shit out of you guys to let you guys know. But next Saturday we're going to do a little stream, and you get to find out what we're doing. That will also, if we make it to Fallout next week, that'll probably be the last normal schedule thing we'll do besides podcast. So just keep an ear out. Things are going to change a little bit for a little while. But you'll still get to hang out with cool people, hang out with some cool streams, see some cool stuff.
See some new faces.
See some new faces.
Lots of faces.
Oh, yeah. So get ready. Be prepared for that.
And then you'll never see them again.
Not the baby.
Nope.
No, not the baby's face.
No.
Never.
Yeah, we're gonna blur that.
We're going to cover that up with an emoji for at least
Forever.
the first 7 years.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Only 7?
Only 7.
yeah.
7 in one day?
You,
No more.
they are safe from being exploited on YouTube for 7 years.
Yeah.
All I want to say is that,
crazy.
guys, I
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
All I want to say is that, guys, I am very excited. In fact, I'm jacked. And speaking of jacked, back to you.
Hi, guys.
Wow,
It's
that was
me.
a transition.
Jacked O'Leary.
Thank you.
That's what.
O'Leary
Never
Jack.
mind. Anyways, folks,
That's your OnlyFans.
Whoa. There's some
how do
content.
you know that?
Whoa.
We found your secret email.
My burner. Yeah. Anyways,
It's my secret email.
folks, I don't think I need to remind you. You know what's going on. Just in case, I'm going to do it one more time. There's a lot of people suffering in the world right now, and I, for as long as I remain in this chair, will continue to use my platform to advocate for those that need your assistance. There are people in Palestine right now that are suffering, even though there's a ceasefire that's been negotiated. People are still being killed in Gaza by Israel. They need your help now more than ever. If there's anything that you can donate to Operation Olive Branch or any sort of aid relief effort that is going on in Palestine right now, please do. There's crazy shit happening at home for us Americans. I believe Trump is going to be unveiling an executive order soon that is effectively going to dismantle the Department of Education, which is just lunacy. Among all the other crazy things that are happening right now. Not to mention that Chuck Schumer and 10 fucking Democrats have betrayed us. If you live in any of those districts, especially if you live in New York, please primary the fuck out of Chuck Schumer and Kristen Gillibrand. Devils. Anyways.
Colton just yelled yes,
Yeah.
please.
Um,
Can you do me a favor? Can you just scooch a little bit to the left? To your right? To your
left.
right?
Take it back
Thank
now,
you.
y'all.
Appreciate it.
I am now centered, even though I remain on the left.
Yeah, can you just go a little bit?
Things are hard right now for a lot of people, especially our the BIPOC community, the queer community, trans people especially. If there's anything you can donate to any charities or groups or people that support these marginalized people, please do so. I urge you. Of course, take care of yourself in these trying times. If you don't have anything to spare, that is completely understandable. But if you do have anything to spare, your time, your money, your effort, anything, please do it. I urge you as your completely non-parasocial friend. But I think that's it. Without any further ado, I think I'm ready to dive into what is probably going to be, for now, the last episode of Eberron, City of Towers.
Oh no.
Before the baby break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ending it today. I'm done. I'm finished. No, I'm
been
not.
nice knowing y'all.
I'm not even close to done. So, last we left off, we were lingering in the aftermath of the end of the War for Khalistan, which the Storm Tower 6 emerged as the victors of. They are now the biggest players in the criminal underworld at the moment. The Boromar clan has effectively been, is irrecognizable from what it used to be as factions within the Boromar clan crumble and turn against themselves, trying to grab what power they can. A crime wave is spreading through Sharn as gangs, once under the Boromar's thumb, now have newfound freedom and are now flexing their muscles, seeing what turf they can take and who they can take it from. And in the midst of that chaos, civil unrest is happening, a potential revolt, a popular revolt against the Crown of Breland feels inevitable at this point as populist agitators like Hassir Tain and other members of parliament are challenging the crown openly to come to the aid of the beleaguered people of Sharn. Additionally, tensions surrounding the Warforged are on the rise after an inflammatory article sort of made its way around Sharn after being effectively what's the word I'm looking for? Not sponsored, but approved by one of the counselors of Sharn. Even though things are pretty good for the Storm Tower right now, Sharn remains a hotbed of chaos and activity. And Khalistan is, funny enough, sort of become almost a safer place to be because of you guys and the sort of unifying presence that you guys bring. All of the other gangs, what remains of the Boromar clan, the 12th Vanguard, Dask, and the Dark Talons, as they sort of fight over the scraps of what's left, you guys control the largest swath of territory, including the Silver Mist Theater, the biggest Dream Lily den in Khalistan.
Oh, finally.
And yeah, you've been waiting for that one, huh? As a result, you guys wield a lot of power in the district. One of the developments that also happened was that Elira Boromar, the former counselor of Dura, took up the mantle of counselor for Middle Memphis, replacing the dude that you guys blew up at the Lucky Nines. Allegedly.
That just happened.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Accidents happen, my dude.
Hey, can you pick a playlist? It's playing recommended tracks.
You're kidding.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
There we go. We're in Dark Streets of Sharn. It was playing a Skyrim song, thankfully.
I know. I was checking. I was like, maybe Jack intended this.
I did not. No, this is not Skyrim.
It's not?
No, believe it or not, no. So this left a vacancy on the city council for a new representative from Lower Dura. And as major players in Lower Dura, where Khalistan is located, you guys had an opportunity to influence. Oh, by the way, Colton is here. He's just not here right now. Sorry, he's eating, but he'll be here soon.
Oh, well.
Oh.
You guys can't see him. He's right there.
He's
Uh-oh.
crouching.
But
Laying on the floor.
you guys had an opportunity to sort of be power players in this election that is to come. But before that, the goons, led by Aram and the painters and a few others, basically put together a plan for a grand celebration to sort of ring in the new Storm Tower regime that rules here in Khalistan. As you guys threw together what has been affectionately referred to as either Stormfest or the Goon Gala.
Classic.
There was a lot of stuff that happened during these celebrations. There were contests. Colton is here. Hello, my friend.
Yay.
Contests were had, prizes were won, glory was attained and lost. And in between all of that, there were some interesting developments. Stick and Ashran received a visit from Alwyn, that's his name. Alwyn Ackley's, your father, a bone knight of the Emerald Claw, who revealed to Stick that Lady Ilmarrow, the leader of the Emerald Claw, is coming to Sharn with the intent to perform a ritual that will make her the new Queen of the Dead in Dolur, effectively a god, with the right and power to control death itself. Only someone with the mark of death can attain this power, and Alwyn, Stick's father, has basically told Stick that he would prefer if Stick took this power, if he was on the throne at the end of all things, the arbiter of life and death itself. she will be coming in the approaching days. It's a matter of weeks, months. For her to come and perform her dark ritual to attain the power of death itself. And she needs Stick for this ritual. What role he is to play is unclear, but Stick has an opportunity to take the power from Miranda's Vol if he so chooses. Additionally, Beerbot had a moment with Keeley, the resident artificer and a longtime friend of Beerbot, as she gifted him a hand to act as a replacement for the hammer that he has worn his entire life in place of his left hand. And then the two shared a dance along with Lily and Severin and Stick and Aram. And while on the floor, the two, Beerbot and Keeley, confessed feelings for one another. And it was very cute. It was very sweet. And Sonata, of course, was playing with the band, being charming as ever. And Azaraphus had a moment with Valestus where it was sort of hinted that, he sort of lost that passion that he had for this person once upon a time.
Sorry about it.
Whatever comes of that, we will soon see. And Severin had a meeting with none other than the son of Kyber, who basically confessed to Severin that Hassir Tane, one of the coming leaders of the approaching revolution, one of the leaders of the coming revolution, has basically tapped the son of Kyber's forces and offered them a place in it as soldiers to fight for the cause. And he wanted Severin to know. Additionally, Rena had an audience with the Lady in Shadow, who basically reminded her that that Maggie's contract is effectively coming up at the end of the year. If she does not overthrow the Brailish monarchy by the end of that, she will become a masked thrall to toil forever in her dark garden, a fate worse than death. And whether or not that happens is up to Maggie ultimately, but we will see if Rena is able to influence that decision at all. But additionally, Rena tried to sort of needle some information out of the Lady in Shadow regarding her past, but the Lady in Shadow kept her secrets close to her chest as ever. But there was a little voice in your head that said, "Don't worry, time's coming. Everything will be revealed soon. I'll make sure of it. We will make sure of it." Little hint for what's to come. And then at the end, there was another big reveal that Beerbot has a second docent inside of him. One that bears the symbol of House Kenneth. Now, I don't think I established how remarkable that this is when it happened last time, so I will just remind everyone again. The docent, as we discussed at the very beginning of the episode, or at the very beginning of the series, is this magical artifact magical sentience of giant creation that is currently beyond the technological capabilities of the Five Nations. By rights, the technology isn't advanced enough for House Kenneth to make something like this. So for this to be discovered in Beerbot, to have similar properties to a docent as identified by Mara, and be of House Kenneth make, is extraordinary. So should be impossible. So I just wanted to make
I'm
that
going to be
clear.
honest, I also didn't process it initially, and now I have so many ideas rolling through my head as to what's been going on. You have no idea. No.
He's not pregnant. Spoiler alert.
No. I have a different idea, but I'm afraid that I'm going to call it like I called Jacob's descent thing early, so I'm going to stay quiet, and I'll let you know if I guess it. If I've guessed it.
I don't know, man.
Also,
in my Eberron.
I think initially the reason that I missed it is because I didn't realize that House Kenneth didn't just like stamp anything that they found with their seal and be like, "This is ours now."
No,
So-
Mara specified that this is not
Like,
of giant make. It's based on giant
technology. Yeah.
but humans made this.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Absolutely.
Mark T donated $100.
Hey, that's awesome.
Thank you, Mark. That's very, very kind of you. And said 50 for snacks or whatever, and then 50 for a charity of your choice, Jack. Keep up the good fight.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mark. I
Thank you,
really
Mark.
appreciate that.
Really appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Mark.
It's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Can we get the meringues again?
I just want to let you know, Mark, that we just followed up right now, and literally, look, we were listening to Jack, but we were just making sure because there were 2 Spelljammers where he had donated twice for $50 for the Source, which is our local LGBTQ center. I have the PayPal receipt. We just sent 100 in. So
Hey, that's great.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Mark.
the
Really
Source, our
appreciate
local
Maybe you
LGBTQ
get a
plus
little
resource
source
center.
No.
And they're
that
doing a lot of good work.
Oh, so much good work here in our community. It's very great. So thank you for supporting us and supporting our friends at the Source.
I think they just helped to defeat an anti-trans bill in a Newberry community.
Really,
awesome.
that's
Oh my God.
They
incredible.
were
So
a part
cool.
of the people arguing against it, and
That's awesome.
It's
awesome.
That's great.
Go through.
That's great.
I'm very glad to hear that. Just an example of the work that we can all do when we work together.
absolutely.
Anyways, Jack, you get 50 to pick.
That's crazy. I'll think about that. I'll give that a think.
Go.
Anyways,
Thank you again, Mark.
yeah,
Really
thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Without any further ado, we are now dropping back into the game itself. But whatever's happening in this moment is sort of going to be a liminal space of about 2 or 3 months where things are going to happen. And I don't really want to put a hard and fast date on
sure.
on what it is, because I do want to do a time skip where you guys are sort of solidifying your criminal empire, making inroads and communications with people. I will get to I will give you a specific date as soon as I know when it is.
I pointed at the date in her notes. She was like, "Oh."
June 2nd.
It is.
Yes. It is Nim the Second right now, I believe, or Dravago the Second. I don't know.
Travago?
Hotel Dravago.
Holy shit.
Hold on, let me look up Eberron calendar.
Calendar.
House calendar.
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 House calendar.
House calendar. That sounds like a thing from Eberron.
House calendar.
It is. It is Nim the Second. Effectively.
It's a C with an apostrophe.
It's gotta be-
Calendar.
I think we are gonna come back in at probably Barracas, which is effectively August. So it's gonna be about 2 months. Before-
Summertime.
Yeah, so summertime and the living is hard.
What time
We're-
is it?
Summertime.
I guess before I dive into the stuff that I have prepared, is there anything that anybody else wants to do in the meantime?
Like during the time skip?
Yes.
Not other than what I told you.
Great. Okay. I guess that's the thing. Other than things that we have all already talked about.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Jack. You're gonna give me You're gonna give Azeraphis 2 months to dilly dally.
Is he gonna dally or dilly?
Maybe I'll finally learn how to put spells into my spell book,
That'd be so sick.
and I can have more spells.
Yeah.
Episode
Do
38!
you not know how to do that?
And I'll say, and I'll
That's 2 months.
and I'll say
Wait,
this.
wait, what?
No. It's just look, man. We just don't get a lot of downtime. All right.
Oh.
That's the thing. And I would like to point out this as well. If there are any particular downtime activities you want to do, I don't really want to make these happen immediately, but if there's like, hey, there's a magic item I want, or hey, I want to learn how to put spells in my spellbook and I want to be able to do that,
Yeah.
over baby break, we can totally negotiate that, because this is a period of 2 months where the Storm Tower is making money, right?
Cool.
And you guys will have money to spend on things, right?
And I know nothing about Pathfinder magic items.
But that's okay, because
This is where we
will
get to
have
learn it.
effectively,
We get
we will
wild.
have a baby break where we
I
can
like it.
think about and talk about those things.
We'll have so much
This
time
is
during
perfect.
work to look
This is
it up.
perfect.
So, it works out, right? Anywho, the offer stands now. Is there anything that anybody would like to do before?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've been
Let me calm down
overthinking
my
this.
mind.
And I'm just
All
gonna
right.
say no.
No.
Okay. In that case, Azeraphis will start with you.
Haha.
Yes, actually.
Yes, actually. Wait,
Yes,
hold on.
actually, and it's now.
Yes, and it's whatever you have for me, please.
Azeraphis,
Yeah.
you're having a nightmare right now. I want you to describe it for me.
Hey, Cal. What are you doing? I'm getting into character. Don't
That's the
call
nightmare.
me. Don't
It's stick.
call my stick.
It's stick.
No.
That's the nightmare.
It's Stick being more cool. Okay.
This is crazy. I think he's. This is interesting. I think he's probably dreaming about a time where he was in the demon wastes. Probably the times where he was the most scared, where he wasn't accustomed to the rest of the world after leaving the venomous domain, after living there for his entire life. Wandering around Droem, eventually making his way to the demon wastes, where it was warfare there constantly. I mean, the war was going on at the time, but they were fighting their own war.
Yes.
There are creatures there that he had never seen before, that other tieflings had battled before, and I think the nightmare is about him trying to escape, trying to leave, but it keeps following him and dragging him back. Whatever this creature is, this amalgamation of flesh, and that the amalgamation is also at its centerpiece. As there's like a voice that's reaching out towards him as he's like running down this like labyrinth of stone and rocky terrain, trying to escape and leave, and head back home. And at the center of it, it's Citra in the middle of it, and he's just so desperately scared, trying to run, and he's being hunted.
As you try and navigate the labyrinth of passageways and caverns that line the mountains on the borders of the Demon Waste, trying to escape this hellscape, she is always right behind you, and the passageways never end. As she finally catches you and buries her teeth in your neck, you start awake in your bed. You are alone. Your room is empty, save for whatever effects you have in there. However, the window is curtained right now, but you do hear from the other side a soft tapping. It's like clicking that, like, it's like tick, 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 tick. It every few seconds it falls into silence, and then it goes again. You are several stories up.
Right. He like quietly gets out of the bed and he's like low to the ground, and he like shuffles over towards the window until he's like right next to it, and then he like puts his head over.
You do you have your firearm with you?
Yeah, he grabs it off the nightstand.
You take your firearm and pull back the curtain and point at the gun, and you point the gun, and you see on the other side is a crow that has somehow found its way down here and was pecking at the glass. And as you emerge, it flies away off into the distance. And as you look off after it and sigh, you look in the window and you see your reflection, and behind you is Citra's face, weeping just like you saw her before. And you see as she like reaches her arms out to almost like envelop you.
He turns around.
She's not there.
And he's in like a cold sweat. He's like...
And I think in that moment, just shortly after that, there's that familiar sound, faint screaming that heralds a familiar sight as a tear in reality opens, and this swirling portal that smells of brimstone and sounds like suffering manifests before you.
He hesitates for a moment, and he kind of like backs up as if he's preparing himself for whatever is about to come out. But instead, he like looks down and he clenches his fists, and he holds on to his arcane firearm, and he just goes in.
You go in, and stepping through, the screams for an instant just become deafeningly loud as you emerge on the other side, standing on a familiar platform of basalt before an obsidian throne. You are in the chamber of the Voice of Chaos. And he is currently, with his hands behind his back, he's in his full Rakshasa form right now. White-furred, striped tiger, with these keen yellow eyes that just like look right at you. You're not too familiar with these creatures. You're not really sure what their like physiological needs are, but he looks like a cat that hasn't gotten enough sleep, almost. Like he looks a little more in previous times that you've seen him, it seemed that he always sort of had this ostentatious appearance, like he was always trying to look his best around you.
Yeah.
He looks a bit disheveled right now. His clothing is torn and wrinkled and even burned away in some points. His whiskers sort of like droop, but his eyes are a little sunken as he looks at you, and he says, "Has she been haunting you too?"
Chaos. What is the meaning of this?
He looks back, like kind of beyond you, and has said, "When last I saw her, she did not wield this kind of power. We need to talk. I've left you in the dark for too long, and now I am suffering for it."
What have you discovered?
He sort of reveals his crooked hand and lifts his claws up, and out of the basalt form like two chairs, and they are right across from each other. He sits down and awaits for you to do the same.
I think Azareth is still like shirtless. And then I
Yeah.
think from out of the flames around him, he just like, I don't know if he can actually do this, but he just like summons his cloak.
That's metal as hell, and I think he should be able to do that.
And then he just like sits back in the chair.
He says, "I owe you an apology, Mazarethus. I really do. For many years, most of your life, all of it, I have not been fully truthful with you. But now, as my power wanes, as the reality of my situation dawns on me, and I realize the import that you play in this game, I need to fight my nature. I need to tell you the truth. So ask me your questions, anything, and I will answer them truthfully. No more lies, no more evasions.
Why?
Because I'm too tired to keep this up. And I, frankly, need your help."
I know what kind of person you are. You're just like me.
Yes.
You're willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want.
Yes.
Sometimes the world kicks back.
More than you could know. My name is Kashtarak. In millennia past, I was Prakutu, or speaker, to Eldran Tolku, the Oathbreaker, an overlord that was sealed away millennia ago by the dragons and the Silver Flame. For untold years, I have toiled, suffered, schemed to try and bring him back from his prison within Khyber. And I think I've been in the fight for too long. It seems so futile. All the plans I've laid over years, all the schemes, all the lies, all the deceptions, all the failure, all the broken people I've left behind. I began to ask myself, is any of this really worth it? Why release a being that demands servitude from me? Why wreak so much havoc, so much chaos in his name when I could walk my own path?
Right.
So yes, Azarethus, we are exactly alike. Except you are following your nature, and I am fighting mine.
This is your nature. It's anyone's own nature for self-preservation and survival.
The Rakshasa are evil incarnate. We are extensions of our lords. We act with their blessing, with their cruelty. We are fragments of them. Eldron Tolku, this great evil, the great deceiver, the betrayer, is sealed beneath Sharn. Far deep beneath the lava pits where Merrick's Decannith holds his forgehold. Even deeper than the Decani were able to delve. He is there, and his dark influence has cast a shadow over this city like a storm that will never end. His domain is betrayal. Through his influence, friends become bitter enemies, lovers become hated rivals, and all bonds of fellowship, no matter how ironclad, steel-forged, falter and fail. And perhaps it's irony that his greatest servant, his Prakutu, his speaker on the Bleak Council for the Lords of Dust, would be the one to betray him. Every act of betrayal that has happened in this city, at your hands, at the hands of anyone, everything from a little white lie to hide the truth, to a grand deception that overthrows an empire, weakens his bond. He will soon be released. And I am to make sure that happens. But I think it's time I tell you why I really want the Promise of Flame. I want to destroy Eldron Tolku. I want to kill a god. Because when I kill one, that means I can kill others. I've told you much about the Draconic Prophecy and the roles that we play within it, how we are slaves to its winding whims and paracausal paths. I'm tired, Azaraphus. I have followed this prophecy like a madman for millennia while enduring the torments of the dragons of Arganessen and my fellow Rakshasa who do not want my overlord to be released before theirs is. Because only one will claim dominion over this world. But what if that didn't have to happen? What if we no longer had to know? What if we no longer had to be bound by this prophecy that has informed all of our movements for millions of years? With the promise, I can eradicate them all. The Rakshasa, the overlords, the dragons, any who would try to understand this prophecy. Because if a prophecy has no prophet, does it even exist? Can it even come true?
You say that the Rakshasas were made for this.
Yes.
You were made for this.
Yes.
To be his servant. To be his slave. A master never tells its slave how to earn its freedom.
No.
To that very prophecy, you are bound to it. Or only as bound as you allow yourself to be.
I cannot begin to describe how difficult it has been to release myself from the shackle of servitude. To even think thoughts of rebellion.
I pity you. Do you look to me for help?
Yes. He looks like ashamed to say this as he sort of wilts.
Yeah, and at that he kind of laughs and then he stands up and he says, I've been trying to find out what you want from me. And I see it now. You're just desperate and lost.
Yes. I need you and your friends. I cannot act in the open. If I do, I reveal my hand, and my enemies will destroy me.
Well,
they hunt me
Lord
now.
Destroy our city.
No. No.
So that you can defeat him. You can claim the glory.
Azaraphus, the only way to free us all from this torment is to kill them all. Once they are gone, if they can be destroyed, we can finally be free.
You can. I am free. No shackle holds me down, no purpose keeps me in place. I seek the promise of flame because I want it.
Yes. And through it, you would wield a terrible power. Maybe you'll do the bloody work for me.
Are you going to stop me?
Why would I? I need you. My success hinges on yours. As abysmally embarrassed as I am to say it, I have no allies. I have been betrayed by everyone I've trusted. I have lost the power I once wielded. Citra is now Prakutu of Eldron Tolku. I did not lie to you when I said that she is nothing but his will manifest. When she learned what I was going to do, she sided with him instead of me.
How? Why? Do you know?
I brought her back to use against you if you ever strayed from your path. I promised her eternal life if she helped me in this. But she has a new master. And he does not want you to succeed because he does not want me to succeed.
You're nothing more than a puppet. You are exactly as your namesake. You are not chaos, you are merely its voice. An
Yes.
echo. You think I want to help you. I only feel pity for you. But I have no need to serve you. I have no need to help you. You'll lead me to the promise of flame anyways.
What can I say but you're right?
You made this bed. You dug this hole. This is what you deserve. You're just a tool. You're purely a tool. This is what you wanted. You've caused so much misery for me and for so many others. What else do you want me to say?
I had hoped that perhaps after everything,
After everything, after you lied to me my entire life.
after I made you who you are, you would not be here without me. You don't even know all the things I've done for you, all the enemies that you didn't even know about, that lie dead and broken and forgotten because of me. I have killed Legion for you, for Severin, for Beerbot, for Stick and Renna. You are the closest thing to a family that I have left. Do not forsake me in my time of need.
Look upon your work.
I have. I've been watching and waiting since the beginning.
Do you want to tell me how you can be useful? Do you want to tell me how you can help us?
Only I can put the promise of flame back together.
I don't believe you.
I gain nothing by lying to you, Azarathus. Tell me, do you know how to put it together? You know how to attach the pieces to your gun, but when everything is finally together, do you know what comes next? Tell me.
I suppose we need you then. I need you.
All that matters is that the overlords know that they are not infinite. That the dragons know that they are not omnipotent.
Right.
Once that work is done, this world can spin on its own. I don't care what happens to me. I'm fighting for a better future. A future that is not controlled by one single prophecy. but by the will of those strong enough to take the reins. And
What
if
a
that
martyr
is...
you are, I'm sure they'll worship you once you're dead.
I don't care about that. Do you think I'm some fawning, desperate narcissist like Thrasilos, who needs a whole cult that he needs to mutilate in order to feel beautiful himself? Do you think I'm like Phalestis, who betrayed me so that she could manipulate you to her own ends? Do you think I'm like Citra, who would accept power over purpose? I come to you and offer you the truth. I, whose very bones are made of lies, offer you the truth and you spit in my face. I will not forget this. But unfortunately, I have no recourse. The die has been cast. I need you. And you, for all your pride and ingratefulness, need me. And that is where we stand. If you care not for me, after all that I have done for you, fine, ungrateful child, I will still give you everything you want, and I hope that I can live long enough to see the promise of flame burn you until nothing is left.
Your purpose has to mean something. To you. To everyone. I still understand you. But I never asked for anything you gave. None of us did.
You didn't need to. I made the decision for you. And for that, I have no regret. Because I am closer now than ever to finally doing something after millions of years. I've said enough, and I've heard enough of your boasting. Be gone. And he waves his hand, and you are no longer in his domain.
Guys, I think I made him mad.
Yeah,
Mad.
yeah.
Azerapus, unfortunately, is like, kind of smug.
No, 100%.
Back to bed.
I'm proud.
Good night.
Kind of smug.
Oh, fuck.
The satisfaction.
That was crazy,
made him
dude.
Tired.
That was crazy, bro.
Yeah?
That was insane.
Sick.
That was pretty cool.
Oh boy.
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Oh boy.
You're
safe
dreaming
so
right
far.
now too.
Oh,
Although for
fuck.
you, dreams have always been sort of a funny thing, right? They kind of become stories, whether you like it or not. And in this story, you're chasing after someone who is always ahead of you. You've had this dream before, but it feels real. It feels like you've actually been here once upon a time with this person in front of you, this woman who always seems to leap headfirst into danger. And always finds a way to wriggle out of it. And you just so happen to be at her heels when it happens. But I think in this dream, she's outpacing you. You can't keep up. As she runs, she doesn't look back. There's darkness behind you. As she runs for the light, the dark chases after her. You're stuck in between. What do you do? Do you chase after her? Or do you let yourself fall into darkness?
I think at first she does continue, but progressively gets less I don't know, less she like slows down over time, and until she kind of comes to a standstill and watches as she kind of disappears into the distance before turning around and facing the dark.
In the darkness, it is pitch black, eventually to the point where it completely envelops you. You can't see the woman anymore. The light is gone. Only a few twinkling, distant lights, these stars in the firmament, form a face. The vague outline of one, effectively 2 stars for eyes, and then a thin string that sort of opens up into this stitched mouth that says, "What's this? Such a precious thing, left all alone. Who would do such a thing? Who would inflict such cruelty? And why? Don't worry. I will take care of you when no one else will." And as the darkness envelops you and you fall into this torpor, this sleep, as it hovers over you like a shroud, weighing you down, you wake up in your bed, and I think you find that Puck, your familiar, is like standing on your chest, just sort of like looking right at you, and almost like quizzically looking at you, and he says, "You were talking again in your sleep. It's like you were calling out to someone, but you didn't even know their name.
I bet I was.
Are you okay?"
Is any being in this world okay?
Well, I don't know.
Truly okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know, I guess. I'm sure the king is doing okay, right? Well, he's got the whole rebellion thing, actually.
Maybe you. You might be doing okay.
You know what? That's right. I am doing remarkably well.
Well,
You just seem different lately. Your eyes are darker. Well, one's brighter and one's darker. It's strange. I don't quite know how to... I mean, brighter and darker than usual.
You created me.
I feel like... Don't you feel like all of this, everything that's happened, it's leading to something really big. And I don't really know what to think of it. Are you scared? Are you excited? Do you feel anything? Because I don't know what to feel.
well, I think you and I actually feel the same here. We feel everything and nothing. It's more than just something one person can handle. I think it's always been an inevitability that everything, all of us have been leading to something. That's why I'm not scared that it's leading to something. I just want to make sure that something...
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yes.
I guess that's all we can do when we're lost like this.
Well... I think we are less lost than we might be. Than we might think.
Then we're just wandering? Or are we seeking something? That fated end? Whatever it is?
the people to face it with. And that's what I hope we have found.
I just hope that when it all comes to an end, the people we become are better than who we were. That something changed.
I don't know about better, but certainly different.
Different.
There'll always be something that breaks, snaps, but at the same time can't be rebuilt from. Different.
Okay. Well, I feel a little better. Also, I hate to say it, but your sword over there is really harshing my vibe.
I have to deal
It's your little baby.
In the corner, you
And
see Grim.
malicious
The eye is
stuff.
fixed on you.
Uh-huh.
He's like, he's been like staring at us all night.
Might have to do something about that thing. Maybe. What's her name? The alchemist. She might be able to do something about it.
Did you forget Catalyst's name?
Yes, I did. My.
It's late. You're tired.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You just woke me
I'm
up.
expecting too much of you.
It's like what? What time is it? 4 in the morning?
Puck looks over at
Pulls out
the
their
mantle
watch.
and picks up the clock
Yep.
and says,
can't read.
3:27 a.m.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Clock.
I don't know how to read a clock. It's this o'clock. This o'clock.
Okay. Okay. Almost 3:30.
He does a little circle and curls up in your chest.
In.
And then I think he does sort of like what the fuck? He does sort of like sink into you almost, like a ghost, and then like and as he does, it's almost like the tattoo of the fox on your arm almost like fills up.
Well, I almost feel like wherever he is sinking into, so like he's on her chest right now. It almost that's where the tattoo.
Oh,
goes
interesting.
from.
It like
It's not just
it like fades on the arm, and,
Well,
or does it stay? Is that
he
permanent?
is the tattoo.
Right.
So my imagining is that when he's not in the
Oh,
arm,
the
there's
tat's
nothing
gone. Okay.
there, and then so him going here.
So you got like
it's now, it's
you got
now,
a thick chest piece.
I
All
have
right.
a chest piece
Sweet.
right now.
That's awesome.
It's quite cool.
That's awesome.
Foxes around the titties.
Hey yo. All right.
Titty Fox Cities.
All right. That's cool. All right. We're leaving Dreamland. We're getting into the real world.
Waking up
More
at
later.
4 a.m. in the storm tower is probably awful because on one side of your room, I'm probably beating up a crow, and then in the next room, Severin's like,
Yeah.
Does Severin? does
Sorry,
Se-
you're saying that he's asleep at that point?
No.
yeah, you think? Yeah, no. Severin's already awake for the day, or hasn't gone to sleep yet.
Pick one.
Yeah, it's,
Both.
it's either one or the other.
Or it's both.
Stick.
Don't sleep.
Is there anything in particular that you get up to besides whatever you come up with over baby break during this downtime? Dream Lily sales are good.
They're booming.
I'm like,
No sign of the Emerald Claw yet.
Unflavored dream lily.
yeah. Oh,
Oh.
berry.
Ooh,
Cranberry.
put it in. I was gonna say,
A
put it in.
stizzy? Dream stizzy?
Dream
That's
stizzy.
crazy.
Stizzy.
Oh, I'm gonna ruin so many lives.
Oh no!
Dream Lily,
He's right outside the
the
school.
Dream Lily e-sick.
Stick, you're having a nightmare.
It's the Hat Man.
The Dream Lily is stopped.
The Hat
working.
Man has found you.
The
My old
CEO
got
of
money.
Everyone just goes up to Stick and says, "You're having a nightmare."
Well, if you
It's
think of
like-
anything,
it's
let me
like
know.
I would
But
sleep, just-
for the time being, I think something that you notice as the months go by, you know, right now I feel like a lot of the Storm Tower stuff is currently devoted to. There's a lot of resources devoted to not only keeping your territory, but also to kind of boosting Sonata's reputation in Lower Dura.
Yeah.
Flyers?
As you guys are basically helping him campaign for the position.
There goes my hero.
But in the midst of all that, I think something you notice as well is that Ashrin is sort of starting to come out of her shell a bit. there was a long time where she didn't really interact with many others besides you, and she would just sort of follow you around the storm tower like a sad cat of some kind. You guys having fun over there? If you want to roll a dice, I can give you a skill challenge.
I was trying to spin it.
Get out of
Oh,
bed.
okay.
The get out of bed.
The get out of bed challenge, Jesus. DC 30.
Well,
In particular,
is
it seems like the
Pathfinder.
firebolts are like especially receptive to her because she's fought alongside them, and it's weird. They kind of have like inside jokes and stuff that you're not aware of, and even Aram is like, "Hey, what does that mean?" And they're all like, "Nothing." But I think you notice that like your sister is just warmer.
Good.
Good for
And I think
her.
in particular you notice that she sort of, through no decision of Aram's own, she has sort of become like a leader within the Firebolts, and is like helping them on patrols and stuff. And I think that's just something you notice.
That's nice.
It's cute.
I don't think he makes any comment about it because if he does, it'll stop.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think during some of those moments where she's like smiling and even laughing with them, I think she like catches you looking at her and she just sort of like smiles and waves.
Smile wave.
I think he would be. I think he talked to Aram about it.
Okay. Aram would be like, I think what happens is you go to find Aram,
Yeah.
and Aram is like, I was just looking for you.
I'm right here.
I'm so glad to see you. And he hugs you and gives you a kiss on the cheek. And he says, well, what were you looking for me for?
Oh, my sister's taking your fucking job, dude.
That's what I was going to talk to you about. When did she become so chummy with all them? I know that I'm like technically part of the Six now,
Yeah.
but like, it's still my crew. Is it weird to say that I'm kind of jealous?
No.
I don't know. Look, your sister's great. I mean, she's really funny in like a morbid kind of way. Like her jokes kind of depress me, but like in a funny way. Or maybe they make me laugh in a depressing way. You know, it's one of those things where she'll say something and we're all just like, ha ha, ooh.
Yeah. It takes a while to shake that off.
Yeah. Well, no, she's she's great though. I'd like to think she's finally reached a point where I don't think she's gonna kill me. Although,
Good for her.
I want you to know that I am taking every effort possible to not incur her wrath.
Good. That's probably
And because I love you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, like I would never,
right.
right?
Right.
And she told me,
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you what she told me. It was unspeakable. But I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It was a very vivid description
She's
of
very
my
creative.
intestines.
Yeah, she's very creative.
Oh,
In the worst
incredibly
way.
so.
Her.
Good for her.
But anyways, on the one hand, it has, I used to have to wrangle him a lot because Minzy, you know, she's good, but I was kind of the one who had to lay down the law sometimes. I feel like Ashrin is kind of a solidifying presence in that, where she's kind of, you know, they like her and they can joke with her, but they respect her as well while I'm busy doing Storm Tower shit. But I mean, it has freed up my schedule a little bit. So, what are you doing right now?
I guess you.
Perfect. My thought exactly. He takes your hand and drags you to his room.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Still got the spooky nightmare music playing.
Oops.
Yeah.
know
You're
what? It's
actually
all
having a
just-
nightmare.
Yeah, and you wake up in your bed.
Yeah.
Ding!
Aram isn't having.
Yeah.
In the old shitty house that Beer
Oh no!
Dreaming the
The
whole
whole
time.
entire campaign was a dream.
God.
I come out, I'm like, I learned nothing.
Azura's like, hey, we gotta go help Roy with that gig.
Don't let me leave, Murph.
No!
That guy.
Yeah, Aram takes you in and closes the door, and you turn around and look at him, and his head's a gub, and he eats yours.
Oh no!
It's a gug.
A gub?
Sorry, gub.
That was
Doug.
spell jammer.
Yeah, we were saying gub. during-
Got right.
Severin.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time.
Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
Yes.
Where are you right now? Because I know
That's a good question.
what's been on Severin's mind. We've talked about this. You can't stop thinking lately, despite everything that's going on right now, you cannot stop thinking about Kezra, that boy with the aberrant mark that you left behind in the Deneath mansion.
I personally have been haunted by this for about 3 months now. Just want to let you guys know. I
think you've had several nightmares,
God.
tortured by all the things that they could do to that boy if they ever found out.
Sorry. Reading my notes. This is Portex. That's so funny. He's probably doing recon up there in Havoc's Landing.
It looks like security has been tightened since your last little foray. There are more blade marks present. It's entirely possible that, as far as you can tell from the outside, things haven't really changed. There are more guards. But other than that, the Enclave is just as secure as ever. At night, there are fewer guards, but there's still more than there were the last night you were here. I guess my question for you right now, Severin, is are you alone?
I don't know, buddy.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably.
Okay.
I think there's a like a sanctuary and solitude for him, especially with the Storm Tower. He's never really been around this many people for so long who always feel like it feels like they always need him for something to do whatever, and so I think for this point it's like if he's given a chance to just disappear and not be noticed for a while, it's a good night.
So nobody knows you're here.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This is a bad choice.
You're not sure what the best night to get in is. Thora had the inside information to know about Sadril de Deneath's attendance at a party, which, lessened security. You're not really sure what the schedule for the Lord of the Sharn branch of House Deneath looks like right now. You know who he is, Sadrin de Deneath, a veteran Sentinel Marshal, father of Sadril, who you kind of helped depose, his poisoner, his son, grandfather to the boy that has haunted your dreams. You're not even sure if this kid is alive.
No. I think it's depending on like how long this is, it'd almost be a week of him doing this. And then I think on probably like the last day of that week, he would bring Thora along.
Okay.
So that's how I see it. It's probably like a montage of like every different night of him just sitting there considering and realizing that. I think that's me.
It's fine. We all know what Thora looks like.
Do we know?
And if we don't,
It's really cool.
just think about it.
No.
Do you tell Thora why you're here?
I think you'd have to.
I think while you two are watching, waiting, I think it's been generally pleasant. You two, I think, both sort of find... She is also someone that is constantly in demand. So I think having some quiet time is important to her as well. But I think the first question that she asks you after a long moment of silence is, how long have you known about this boy and the mark he bears?
Since that night.
And you didn't think to tell me?
I was hoping you'd have a chance for something different. Should have known. But I was hopeful. Thora, we ruin lives.
Their lives were ruined when they were born with that mark. I beg to differ. We've saved lives.
Yeah, but how many have we lost?
Too many.
So I figured if I didn't say anything, he could, I don't know, live for a little bit longer. And then...
What's done is done. We need to get inside and figure out if he's alive.
Yeah.
I think she stands, and she says, shift change is coming up soon. We're not going to get a better opportunity than this. It's time.
Okay.
Let's hope they haven't re-upped the defenses. There's no basilisk inside, I hope. And
Horrible.
you two, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how you get in. That's not important. What matters is you and Thora do get in. Mm-hmm. And during the changing of the guard, you infiltrate the top floor. And you...
Skydive?
No.
No, my dude. That's why he didn't bring any of the storm tower along.
It would have been the
Dumbasses.
Would have just been perfect.
No. Stealth mission, my dude.
You have to wave the little Azeraphis in your head away. You're like, get out of here.
What you find inside is that, oddly, there are no guards on the top level, on the first floor. And when you infiltrate, you hear something of a commotion coming from the ballroom.
Yeah, that's where he would go.
You and Thora enter and find yourselves peeking around the corner into that space, this, large open space, tiled floor, a piano in the corner, billowing curtains, suits of armor, the house beneath sigil. Everywhere you look, that chimera staring at you with all 6 of its eyes. And you get there just in time to find the commotion just about at the point it ends. You see Sadrin de Deneth, the Lord Seneschal of the House Deneth Enclave here in Sharn, locked in a fierce duel with his own son, Sadril, as Kezra stands in the corner with a sword in his hand, just shaking. And as you look, you see that it looks like Kezra has been beaten. And you see his part of his shirt has been torn and it reveals the aberrant mark, this stinging, cruel looking thing splayed across his right rib cage. From your position, it looks like Sadril, excoriated, with nothing left to lose, is desperately trying to protect his son. And you see him. He turns and sees you. Both of your purple eyes meet, and it's just the right opening for Sadrin to gut his own son. As he collapses lifeless to the floor, his blood pooling out, Kezra cries out for his father and rushes to him. As he does, Sadrin raises the blade and he says, "You demon-marked thing, you bewitched my son, and you've taken my grandchild. I will tolerate this no longer. I will set you free, my boy."
I think you'd shoot him.
An explosion shatters the night as the bullet rips through Sadrin's neck. He lets out one last splutter of air as the blood shoots out of his exposed trachea. And he looks over and sees you, and he raises his sword and falls. Kezra screams. You hear the whistle outside.
I think he would. I'm taking time, but this is all, seconds. It is
Yes.
shot. It is him running towards Kezra. And it's picking him up, very kind of harshly, but like not with any ill intent, putting a hand over his mouth.
He kicks and screams against you, but he's a child.
Yeah.
11, 12 years old. He can't resist you. He's not strong enough.
Yeah. And he leaves.
As you carry out this grieving child, witnessing possibly the most traumatic thing anyone could witness, you and Thora break off, split up, cause a diversion. Mm-hmm. As she draws the guards away from you, you make a break for your meetup point in a point in the lower city, an old Tarkanan dead drop. After a time, Kezra is calmed down, though I don't really think that's the right word.
He's catatonic, perhaps?
Yes. I think he faints after a time, but I think he comes around and he is just non-responsive. He is just shocked as he sits there with a blanket like wrapped around him that you've procured as you're waiting for Thora to show up. Eventually she does, and she looks around and she says, okay, I don't think I was followed. How's the boy?
How do you think?
Poor child. I can't believe it came to this. She goes over to him and just looks at him, and he just like looks past her. I hate to say it, but like the best thing I can think of is like Aaron after his mom died. Like,
yeah.
He's just like blank stare. And she stands and she says, we did what needed to be done. There was nothing we could do. I need to get him to safety. And a voice in the darkness says, he does need safety, but not from you. As the son of Kyber emerges from the dark.
Yeah. Hi.
You stand, as ever, between Thora and Dazan, with this boy in front of you. Mm-hmm. She looks and she says, of all the possible times to rear your head, you choose now. Have you been watching us this whole time? He says nothing. He just looks at you and he says, Thora. Or he looks at you. He looks at you and then he looks at Thora and he says, I have told you many times we needn't be enemies. We're stronger if we work together. And she just says, and I think he looks at the boy and he looks at you and he says, this child needs safety. This child needs help. This child has a warrior spirit. It is broken now, but he will rise from these ashes, a phoenix. Severin, Thora looks at you. Dazan looks at you. Kezra looks up at you. The man who killed his grandfather. The man who saved his life. You can't take this boy. You already have so much on your plate. Dazan is right. This boy has a warrior's spirit. He's a child of House Deneath. He's been training his whole life to be a fighter. The question is, Severin, whose army are you going to enlist him in?
I think at this point he has this choice and he just turns to Kezra and he probably gets down at his level. And the outcome is he's going to send him with Dazan because there's a community there. Unfortunately, with House Tarkanan, what's left of it, there's only a few people there. But I think before that, he would just kind of look at Kezra and just say, you can come find me when you get big enough, when you get strong enough. You can decide what to do with me. I'm sorry.
And I think as he once again looks up at you and his eyes meet yours, you can't help but think back to a pair of hazel eyes that were looking at you with this same defeated expression. That night, several years ago, when you killed Lily's parents and saved her life. It's funny how history oft repeats itself, how often we learn, and yet nothing changes. Before, as Thorum moves, Dazin takes the boy. He like picks him up. He can't resist. He takes him and he leaves. And Thora looks at you and says, "You are sending that child to his death. You know what they plan to do, right? You know that he doesn't care about survival. He cares only for destruction. Why would you send a child with him when he is about to wage a war?"
Because there are people there too that there's a community. There's people that aren't going to be part of that war because they can't.
Do you really trust him that much?
No, I trust myself. Thor, can I trust you anymore? You only care about survival, but he's a kid. I lost so much of my childhood just surviving.
And to make up for that, you send that child with a man who will put a sword in his hand and tell him who to kill.
And what would you put in his hand? A dagger? A knife?
I wouldn't send him to the front lines of this conflict.
But you would teach him how to be behind the lines.
I would teach him how to survive. Why can't you see? Have you decided that a glorious death is better than a struggling existence?
For myself? I'm still deciding that.
Well, you made the choice for that boy, and I hope that you don't live to regret it.
Know where I sleep. You can do it yourself.
I don't want to kill you, Severin. How many times do I have to say it before you can get it through that thick skull of yours? I want you to live. I want everyone under that son of Kyber, that false prophet, to live. He will lead you all to your deaths. He walks in the footsteps of those who destroyed this city once. Do you think he'll hesitate to do it again?
I think I wouldn't hesitate if I had to. Because I'm so fucking sick of this. What?
You won't destroy this city, Severin. Because Lily needs a place to live.
Not if she's gone. Not if I send her away. They're not safe with me either. No one is. That's why I don't know what's gonna happen. But it's a damned if I do, damned if I don't.
It's really not. But I guess that's a fundamental disagreement. Something we'll never see eye to eye on.
Sorry.
No, you're not. And I think she turns her back and walks away.
I don't think Severin returns to the Storm Tower for another couple days.
I think Lily spends those days asking all of you where he is.
I almost imagine that, like, around the time that probably Severin walks in, it's one of those, like, things where probably as Severin is coming back, he sees Beerbot getting ready to, like
go out and look for him?
Like, assign scout groups to, like, search freaking Khalistan for Severin. Mm-hmm. You just see, like little teams of 5 gathering up.
Man, I'm sad.
The minute you chose to put a mark on that boy, you consigned him to a life of suffering. You made the sandwich, my friend.
You gave the kid a mark.
I sure did.
Yeah, fuck you, Jack.
Listen, I'm going to get into this later, but I want all of you to know my role as GM, as the greater will that guides this world. I am circumstance and I am consequence. In between lies your choice. You hold so much power. You can make any choice you want. But know that I am lingering in the thereafter, and I will make you suffer for that choice.
But what if we don't have to suffer?
Wrong world, wrong city, wrong people.
I'm trying hard, my dude. I'm trying real hard.
That was awesome. You didn't see me
Thanks.
visually,
He was
silently react.
freaking out the whole time.
I couldn't. I was like, this is not a good. Oh. I think before he would say anything else, the storm. To the sex, he would, he's apologizing to Lily. He's just kind of sorry. I didn't mean to be gone this long.
Yeah. I think she forgives you. She always does.
Child's trust,
But I think she begs you not to do that again.
Yeah. It's that placation that parents do, where they say they'll never do it again. And a kid believes that. And I think Severin wants to believe that, but he knows it's fucking Sharn, it's fucking Calistan. It's the beginning of a war. It's just, he's making promises he might not be able to keep.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Beerbot,
Hey. Hi.
you have some conversations you want to have with folks.
I do.
Keely and Merrick's.
Yeah.
Who do you want to talk to first?
Keely.
All right.
Makes sense.
choice, good
given that. Well, also given what he's gonna ask her.
How have things been with Keely?
How long has it been?
Since you
Yes.
discovered the docent, I guess as long as you want it to be. Because I guess it depends on how quickly you want to have this conversation with Merrick.
I think the reality is Beerbot's dragging.
For sure. You're putting this off.
Yeah, he's like-
you're losing yourself in the day-to-day of the Storm Tower. Very easy to do that. There's so much to be done.
Yeah, I think that things with man.
Keep talking. I need to look for something really quick.
I
could
think
you?
I'm
that
listening.
when it comes to Beerbot and Keely, I think that it's more like, in a weird way to say it, more of the same, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of like Beerbot like figuring himself out
Yeah.
while simultaneously like it leads to those pseudo awkward conversations where he's like, yeah, this and that, feeling, I don't really understand what that means, and then Keely's able to help him like put words to it.
Okay.
Because I almost imagine that for Beerbot, I was really trying to put a lot of thought into like what it means for a Warforged to feel like those types of feelings, right? Because most Warforged, like what we know, when they were born, they were forged for war, and they weren't really taught what those feelings meant.
Yes.
So I like the idea that it's like almost having to try to describe what weird vibes are going on in his head and in his heart, and then Keely's having to be like, oh, that's what this would be.
Yeah, nobody
but of course
nobody ever
what
taught a
that is.
Warforged what the word happy, sad,
Exactly.
angry means.
Exactly.
Love.
They didn't need to know. Love, yeah. They didn't need to know.
And,
What is love?
and so I think
Merricks don't hurt me.
I think
didn't.
that
He's great.
I think that a contextualization that I've recognized is that Beerbot has always been comfortable with himself,
Sure.
but he's never understood what being himself would necessarily mean to other people, if that makes sense. So having these conversations with Keely is helping him to kind of gather those thoughts. And because of that, he's now started to figure out how to put forward the concept that he wants something.
Yeah.
Hence the need to talk to Keeley about this upcoming conversation with Merrick's.
Oh, okay. So you two are together doing something.
Whatever.
I'm not sure, but how do you bring this up? I guess.
Warhammer.
She's like, yes, I win.
I heard boing.
What does that even mean?
Hey, yo.
Oh, a fucking spring. That's went through my
A
head.
spring.
I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm so
I don't know.
confused.
I think that Beerbot, outside of, you know, I guess the freaking little tabletop game that they play, he's never really like been one for hobbies necessarily, and so I think, I don't know, what's a hobby that Keeley has?
Warhammer. Age of Galifar.
We've decided.
Yeah,
Only that.
look, I
Okay.
can't come up with anything that quick anymore. It already came up with it for me.
Hey, Jack,
All right.
you're still playing the spooky nightmare music.
Nightmare.
It like keeps dragging you into
I'm so
it.
sorry. I just like it so much.
Wood carving.
Doing all right?
Yeah, that's
You know.
good.
Yeah, that's a good
Cyberpunk.
one. I think wood carving is probably a good one. I think she
Ooh,
likes
I like
making
that.
like little constructs, like little tinker toys almost.
I've seen
I like that.
like little metalworking sculpture.
Yeah,
You know what?
exactly.
Instead of wood,
No.
it's metal.
Yeah, and
know
it's like a
what?
little frog that like hops across the ground or something.
Gundams.
Lily's chasing it around.
I've got to move. I've got to move here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well.
That was never something that Beerbot would have been able to partake in. But now he has a second arm.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So you're learning how to make toys?
Exactly.
That's very cute.
He's learning like motor motor
motor.
fine.
Oh my God,
fine motor
because he would never be able to do that before.
Occupational therapy with you. That's crazy. She's like, I never thought I'd be doing this, but hey, there we go.
How to
There you
use
go.
both hands together because he's never had a
That's
second hand
I
to do that.
never thought about that.
Wow.
That makes so much sense. Wow.
He's constantly like this. He puts something down to grab, and she's like, no, and he's like, his face is just like,
Yeah.
He's putting the
Incredible.
pegs into the holes in the
Yeah.
square. Peg goes into the square.
And I think it's just something where throughout the course it's just quiet as they're like working away. And I think he would just say, I've been putting off going to see Dad.
Daddy, you.
I think she looks at you and she's like,
Daddy,
"Oh,
Daddy.
you mean Merrick's?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're fine. I forget that
Mr.
not
Dad.
Do you-
everyone...
Do you call him Dad
He,
to his face? Like ironically, or
no, it's not ironic.
Papa.
wow? Okay, I'm not judging. I'm just curious.
No, it's fine. So I almost imagine, and I think it was kind of established a little bit in their first meeting, but especially before Beerbot went off to do his own stuff. Surprise, Lies of P reference.
Yeah.
I almost imagine it was a very like Geppetto and like
Oh, for sure.
You know, and when you find him in that game, he's like, my boy.
Yeah,
my
no,
child,"
100%.
you know?
I think
So
he's had a closer relationship with you than other Warforged
Yeah.
that he's worked with.
and I think the best way that Beerbot could put it is
I mean, he made you.
yeah. I was gonna say
you are kind of a weird analogy for Pinocchio.
Pinocchio with a big hammer.
Lies of P.
and I think he would say that. He would say, I mean, Merrick's is the one that created me.
No, it makes perfect sense.
He's never been able to recreate it. I've been wondering if maybe this second docent is why. But
Maybe.
only he would know, and
I don't blame you for putting it off. He's a little intimidating.
I just don't know what he'll do.
Yeah.
He might decide that it's time for Mara to go, and I don't know that I can stop him if he does decide that.
Mara's your Mara.
I think there's this feeling that you get of almost like not fear, but just like a little bit of anxiety that you feel on Mara's behalf. But also this sense of like comforting, like she's like, you almost hear her say in your head, like, it's okay. It won't come to that. We've made leaps and bounds in this experiment. Although I am incredibly curious what's in that docent? I think over the course of the few weeks, Mara has tried to interface more with the docent, with your consent, of course. But every time she has tried, it has caused you immense pain.
Gotcha.
And to the point, like pain that like you have never felt.
Right.
And as a result, she is sort of laid off.
And
But
so the reality is that the only way to find out more is to go to Merrick's.
that's possibly the only route.
And Mara doing these interactions maybe has also driven Beerbot to that conclusion at this point.
Keeley says, well, I'm sure it's no secret to you that House Cannith and I aren't exactly on the best of terms. But I was excoriated by the Seer branch. I only knew Merrick's a little bit before I was excoriated. He's technically like a really, really, really distant cousin. But like through marriage.
Yeah.
Like not blood. It's a
Right.
whole thing.
I'm
Tangled web.
sure if we looked at a lineage tree.
Super far back, and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Well, that gives me maybe the leeway to ask this of you. I want you there. If you're willing, of course.
Of course.
I know that that's a lot to ask.
In the short time that I knew Merrick's, he never really struck me as someone who was typical of a dragon-marked house. I mean, he's a prodigy. He's unlike any other artificer that House Cannith has produced, at least in the current century. He's always been pretty pragmatic. I don't think... But I mean, if I'm with you, I don't see why he would turn me away.
No, and there's a few reasons behind it. The reality is like I said, I'm kind of his favorite, for lack of a better way to put it. And because of that, though I don't think he would know how close we are, I'm sure he's aware that we're close.
Oh boy, you're bringing me home to meet Dad.
He was aware of the arrest of the Six before we spoke to him. And
He doesn't strike me as someone who misses people when they become relevant to something that he's connected to.
I also want you to know that if anything happens in there, I choose you.
Beerbot, you don't think it'll come to that,
No,
do you?
I don't.
Okay.
But
I mean, you know him better than I do.
yeah, it's been a while since I've gone in for a checkup. He likes to tinker around, especially after the new.
Right.
The
She
hole.
she takes your hand. And she just says, "I will go wherever you want me."
Yeah. I'm still getting used to that.
It's okay. Me too.
You know, even the Six. Normally, we all have our own priorities, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the reality is, though I know the time will come that I need to call on them, I've been following them most of this time.
Well, it's good you're finally doing something for yourself. Let's get to the bottom of this mystery, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
They might kill me if I don't ask them to join, though.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
So you're inviting the whole Storm Tower 6
I
to this
am.
meeting.
It's sans Aram.
Right. So there must always be
I
a
don't
member of
know.
the 6 in the Storm
In the
Tower.
Storm
That's
Tower,
the rule.
exactly.
What's going on?
Merrick's.
Bro's going to go meet
Time.
Merrick's and he wants you to come.
Yeah. Papa.
What does he want to do? Tune up your beer balls?
Right. I suppose.
Seraphis.
I
He
suppose.
says.
What? Oh, sorry.
I suppose it actually is worth talking about. So I know we've talked about this. How like when there's new secrets that come up, and you know, at the party, we kind of laid all of our cards on the table. About 30 minutes after we did that,
Oh, okay.
That's fucking funny.
Keeley, Mara, and I made a discovery,
When
and
you guys talk about that, I'll be right
I've
back.
been delaying going to speak with Dad about it.
Jesus.
There,
Sorry, the DM was speaking. I didn't hear you.
he said he said about 30 minutes after Mara, Keely, and I made a discovery, and I've been delaying going to see Dad about it.
Okay.
What is it?
I hate it when you call him that.
It's
That is
I'm used
He
to
has
it.
no
I'm
other.
sorry. I'm used to it. It's what I've always called
It
him.
reminds me of
Daddy-o?
You know about Mara, docent,
Yep.
giant technology.
No, I don't
no one
remember.
else.
Can you
No one
can you
else.
explain
No
all
one
of
else can make it. You know.
Shush.
There is a house Kenneth docent inside me.
What?
It shouldn't be possible.
Sorry, there's Mara.
There's a second one. Yeah, Mara's tried tearing her face with it,
the
but
fuck?
hey, Mara, is there anything you can do that you've done before that would be like the minimal amount of response so that they can see what this thing is doing?
I can try.
Thank you.
Appendicitis pain in your gut.
Oh,
So you guys see Veerbot react to an
That's the
imaginary
only
pain.
analogy that I can make.
You see,
That's how
you
brutal
see,
the pain
you see him
is.
react to like a pain that like in a way that you guys have never seen him react to pain before.
He almost like folds over.
okay.
I
First time.
don't know why, but Mara can't talk to it.
Then
That's what happens when she tries.
And it does that to you if she pokes at it?
Yeah,
Apologies,
so I'm.
Beerbot.
It's okay.
What if it's you?
That's what I was going
That's what I'm concerned about. I'm wondering if the reason he's never been able to make another one of me is because he's never been able to make another docent.
Do you think you are the docent, or do you think the docent was placed inside you?
I want to consider all of that once I have answers from Merrick's.
All right.
And Keely's coming
And you're
with us.
going?
We all
For
are.
emotional support.
You're willing to come if you want.
Round.
The docent in Beerbot's, Mara's docent is round. The proto-docent, which is what I'm calling it.
Okay.
The proto-docent is almost, it's almost D10 shaped. D10 shaped, but longer.
Oh, okay.
It's a dodecahedron
It's a-
sphere triangle
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Gyro.
Yeah, gyro elongated. No, no.
Elongated.
Imagine, it's almost shaped like a top.
Square pyramid.
In a
Okay,
way.
like a spinning top.
But like imagine, or you know those Christmas ornaments that are like they start out like skinny and then they get like rounder in the middle and then they but geometric, like straight.
Yeah.
And it's like got faces on it almost like a die, and in the middle of the whole thing kind of etched in is the Gorgon head of House Kenneth.
So that's, Keely's going to come. I guess, yeah. You guys are all welcome.
It would have been funnier if it was round.
We said that we would not hide these types of things from each other anymore.
Would you want us there?
You are welcome.
That is not the answer to the question.
I don't know
Do you think
what
we
he's
can be any
going.
help?
I don't know what he's going to do now that I've made this discovery. I assume it's just going to be a conversation.
Well, then we're coming.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're looking for like backup in case something goes wrong.
Do you want moral support? More than just Keely.
I
I'm not.
need physical support.
I'm not.
You
I'm
want
not
physical
looking. I'm not looking for that support. I don't think it's going to come to any of that. But again, we as a group have decided that these things are to be handled as a group.
Yeah, you should probably be there.
So it's up to you.
Probably, but I just
I'll
want...
go with Keely. I'll go with three of
Well-
you. I'll go with everyone. I don't care.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just feeling it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are we going
Well,
today?
We probably could. He's usually ready.
we'll follow
anytime.
your lead on this. Okay, sidewalk.
It's easy to contact him, isn't it? For me, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All you need to do is go down to the Red Hammer in the cogs.
And he's basically there and ready.
That's
right?
where you've met him all the previous times. That's where he took you to the Foretold last time you met him.
If we go down to the Red Hammer, he'll probably catch word that we're on our way before we even get there.
Cool.
And with that in mind, we're just gonna Batman transition.
Not
And
Star Wipe? What?
No, Batman.
Star Wipe.
Batman with
Batman
love
with the Star Wipe in the background.
Whoa!
He's always in the
Scooby-Doo
Star
Chromatic
Wipe.
aberration.
Scooby-Doo transition.
you guys head down to the Red Hammer. And things are a little tense at the Red Hammer right now. There are people outside that are basically heckling the Warforged. Protesters trying to pick fights. The Warforged are currently keeping their cool and not engaging. The bouncers are just... There are extra bouncers at the door now. The Red Hammer, by the way, is like a tavern for Warforged that is down in the Ash Black district of the Cogs.
So there's bouncers on the outside, and then there's people outside doing what?
So
they're like
protesting.
trying to pick a fight with the Warforged.
So you remember how like in the news and stuff there was that photo of Beerbot being like.
What's one of them doing right now?
Oh, good kill.
I think he's holding up he's a dwarf that's like holding up a sign that says "Send the Forge back to the scrap heap." And he's like, "You're all killers. We don't need you anymore. The war's over."
His gut. And he's like,
and then I think they all look and they're like, "Oh fuck, it's the Storm Tower 6." And they see Beerbot and they all just like book it. They just run away.
"Protesters, motherfuckers!"
You don't have to do that.
Well, that's one way to deal with them, I suppose.
I won't come back now.
The bouncer at the door, this huge Juggernaut class Warforged, looks down at you and says, "Thank you."
No problem, my guy.
They were very loud.
Yeah,
That is accurate.
It's look, I'm not a good guy, but I wouldn't want to withstand somebody trying to placate my existence.
Respect.
I dab him up.
His hand does not move. You are doing everything.
It's ting. Cool. And I go in.
Welcome to the Red Hammer. Friends of the Forged are welcome here. And you guys head in. Blue, the proprietor, who is sort of a Warforged artificer who fixes up Warforged, actually knows Keeley. They have a little small talk, and she takes you down to Merrick's office. The portal is already there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fast this time.
I told you he knew that we would be coming.
But he's just been open the whole time.
Yeah, you walk in and he's showering with like the
He's like, oh,
beautiful singing voice from Merrick's to Kenneth. Really missed his calling.
Him and my mom.
Yo, in another life,
In
they could have been
another
stars of the opera.
Next to Kenneth, to me, takes a shower while like classical music plays.
Oh,
and he's just, like,
100%.
stands there and like there's little machines that shower him.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a rain shower?
Beerbot walks
Yeah,
through.
just like
Actually,
And I mean,
seen
in my
specific
Eberron,
He's
fucking,
Mads
he's pretty
Mikkelsen.
much Mads Mikkelsen.
and he
Yeah.
looks, and the hair's on the front of his face, and he's like, "This is the."
Yeah.
But
But he's like Mads Mikkelsen when he was like 40.
Why are we talking about
I've
him
seen
showering?
like a
I don't know, I brought it
shower
up.
from
Freudian
like
slip.
100 or so years ago that
Freudian
like
slip.
was pipes that like go around you and spray all up and down your body at the same
It's
time.
like a car wash.
Exactly.
That's really funny.
Anyways, you step through the portal, I imagine, and on the other side is you find yourself once again in the Forge Hold, this big workshop space that overlooks the lava pits of Sharn down in the Cogs, Merrick's is currently talking to some of the junior artificers and is like critiquing some of their work. And he says, the soldering is shoddy. You need to work on that. He says, I want that improved by the next time I inspect you, or I'm sending you back to Ondair. And he looks over to all of you and he says, good. You've finally arrived. Come with me. And he sort of leads you to a wing of the Forge Hold you've never actually been to, where there's just sort of these lines of like paintings and busts of previous great Kenneths past, as he is just sort of pacing along, like down this hall, expecting all of you to follow. But I think he sort of like keeps in stride with you, Beerbot. But I think he does look at Keeley and says, it's been a long time, Keeley. And she says, Merrick's, I trust you're keeping well. And I think he looks at her and says, better than most. And he looks over at you, Beerbot, and he says, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I would. I'm sure you can gather, based off the fact that my entire group is here, that it's not just a courtesy call. We discovered something. I didn't really mean to. But I know that you're the only one that can tell me what's going on.
I think he stops and he steps in front of you. He says, "What did you discover?"
Why is there a House Kenneth docent inside me?
Oh, so she finally found it. Walk with me. He leads you down the line. And he says to you...
Are we all going?
You guys are free to
we'll-
follow.
we'll walk with
He doesn't stop you guys from following.
Beerbot
I
wouldn't
also
stop
follow.
it.
He says, "To answer this question, Beerbot, I'm afraid I need to give you a bit of a history lesson. So, forgive me if things get a bit droll. But, here's what you need to know. Are you familiar... It feels foolish to ask this, but you are familiar with how your kind was created, yes? Many years ago, the first Warforged, the Titans, were made by my grandfather, Merrix de Kenneth, my namesake.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my favorite part that it's like Merrick's is all the way down.
My grandfather, Merrix de Kenneth, created the first Warforged Titans. Mindless constructs that could somewhat think on their own but needed constant direction from Kenneth heirs. They were effective brutes on the battlefield, but they were nowhere near as comprehensive as the Warforged we know today. Enter my father, Aaron de Kenneth. And I think as he's mentioning these names, you're walking past these portraits. So you see Merrix de Kenneth, this old man that looks a little bit like Merrix. You can see the resemblance, but this portrait.
All I can think of is Robotnik and Sonic.
I mean, that's not a bad comparison. It's that kind of vibe a little bit, but like he looks cooler. He's not like memories like the quarters. No. He passes it by, or he stands in front of it, and then he gestures to where it looks like a portrait once hung. It is not there.
Right.
He says, "Enter Aaron de Kenneth, my father." Aaron, through his explorations of giant tech in the ruins of Zendrick, was able to discover the secrets of the creation forges, how the giants were able to use them to create autonomous soldiers that could think on their own, sentient beings. And he created the first Warforged. When he did so, my grandfather saw a unique opportunity. What better product to sell during a war than a soldier that can fight and think on its own? The Warforged were produced en masse. My father's work turned into a production endeavor unparalleled in the history of House Kenneth. As our best product, the Warforged, were rolled out and sold to all sides on the ever-shifting battlefields of the Five Nations during the last war. My father could not stand for it. He realized that in his pursuit of knowledge, he created an entire species of sentient beings and condemned them to be soldiers in another person's war. A war in which they had no stake. No glory to be won, no benefit to be gained. He attempted to undo the work he did, to stop the Warforged from being produced en masse. He failed. And he was excoriated from House Kenneth. Banished. That was 30 years ago. I lived with my grandfather, studied under him, learned about the Warforged, made improvements where I could. But then a funny thing happened. I never saw my father again, but it wasn't the last time I interacted with him. One day, several years ago, years after his disappearance, I walked into my laboratory, and what do I find? But two docents, with the House Cannith Gorgon seal and a note in my father's handwriting. I'll never forget the words as long as I live. I've burned them into my memory. It was short. Replicate what I've created. Our futures, so many futures, rest on it. He stops in front of his portrait and looks up at it, and he says, I had never seen anything like it. Truly a docent similar to giant technology, but made by our artisans. I can only assume that my father made these docents, Aaron de Cannith. To test their capabilities, I put them into 2 experimental Warforged. 2 prototypes, the most advanced I had ever created. Units 8EER-80T and 8EER-80S.
Oh no.
80S responded remarkably to the docent. It instilled in them a drive never before witnessed in a Warforged. They gained unparalleled intellect, a sense for artifice that I have never seen before. A prodigious talent, but it also instilled a dolor of a rebellious streak. It took everything I could to keep him here, and I couldn't. He escaped. And now he lurks in the Mournland and builds an army to take revenge against us. Unit 80S, your sibling, is the Lord of Blades.
Ah! That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
I fucking knew it.
Inversely, you did not show a similar reaction to the docent's implantation. You behaved as a Warforged normally did. There was no change to you before or after. The only thing that did change was the ability to tap into a unique trance, I guess I'll call it, a unique frame of mind, your combat mode. No other Warforged has been able to do something like that. Seeing that it didn't work, I tried to remove it from you, but my attempts failed catastrophically. By trying to remove the docent, so embedded in your systems it was that to do so would have killed you. It's almost like the docent itself didn't want to be removed. This docent, for all intents and purposes, Beerbot, is your heart. If it is ever destroyed or removed, you cannot live without it. I had hoped that by installing a second docent, one actually of giant make, that it might be able to interface with the proto-docent, determine what sort of secrets it holds, why it didn't work in the same way that the Lord of Blades did, what evidence there could be of my father's work, a way that I could replicate it, a way that I could fulfill his last wish. But all my experiments have failed. There's no evidence that anything is working. But you found it. She found it. And if you're coming to me, then something must have happened. So what have you learned?
It's been a while since I've seen Merrick's, huh?
A long time.
God.
He looks tired.
I think
Everybody same.
that after talking with people and figuring out things about myself that I've never been able to express, I think that what you're describing is not a heart but a soul.
I suppose so. One could certainly view it that way.
I think that it definitely guides me, and maybe the reality is that neither of them were the same. They may both be unique. Like every human, Warforged, any of us.
It's entirely possible.
I've also learned that when Mara tries to interface with it, it hurts a lot.
That's the pain I was talking to you about. The pain that it inflicted upon you so much that you don't even remember it. I finally pulled the plug on the operation. I left the docent inside you. I did not want to hurt you any further. I think at this point, Mara, in your head, says, if this is the source of your combat mode, that means that there is maybe a brief window, and this is a hypothesis, but a brief window through which the door is opened. If I got a shoe in, I could probably open the rest of the door.
What would happen to you?
I don't know. I'm more concerned about what would happen to you. I imagine it would still be quite painful. But in your combat mode, you're more resilient. And if anything happens to you, Merrick's is here. He can fix you.
I just realized something. Maybe Merrick's just hasn't brought attention to it yet because the docent takes priority. He definitely came with the other arm.
I think as Mara's talking to you, he looks down and he sees it. And he takes it and he holds it. And he looks over at Keeley and then looks down at the hand. And I think he says, it suits you.
I agree.
He says, I am desperate, I must admit, to discover any sort of... The whole reason I paired you with Mara in the first place was to see if anything could happen.
I've never been one for bargaining with you, Dad, you know that. But Mara does have an hypothesis. It will hurt, probably, and I don't know what will happen to me or to her. But if all works out, she stays with me.
Are you certain?
It's the only way to get this information that you desire, and I get something out of it too.
He thinks for a moment. And then he says, let me get my tools. And that's where we're going to go on a break. Thank you all so much for joining us. When we come back, we're going to read off some cool folks, patrons, members.
Buttons.
Woo! We having fun, guys?
Jeez.
We having fun?
The most I've had to think of this character in a long time. Yeah.
You have a brother or a sibling.
Yeah, great.
Lord of Blade.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
You're not an only child.
All right. Thank you so much. We will be right back. Hey, what do we have to press to get it to break?
Break?
That'll probably
Do we
it.
press break?
Just break it. Just
Click
smash.
break.
Act 2.
Hey guys, sorry, we're in a really stupid argument
Oh,
now, where Grace asked between Mario and
Grace,
Luigi,
why have you done this to
who
me?
is Beerbot and the Lord of Blades, and Jack, and you wanted it to go on vibes alone, and then I said no, he's Waluigi and the Lord of Blades is Wario, and then Jack said the opposite, and then Colton said you only think that because I think you like Waluigi, which isn't even true. I didn't even really know that. I just want to
Yeah, that's
say
new lore.
that it's so important for everybody to know that Beerbot definitely gives more Waluigi vibes. He's a little bit more reset. Okay, here, Wario, the Lord of Blades would be invited to Smash Bros. Not Beerbot. Okay?
That's crazy.
Okay?
What? Oh my god.
I can't explain it. How do you not agree with
okay.
me?
Well, if that's the case, I don't want to entertain this debate for too long because we have more of an episode to get to. But who's Mario then if the Lord of Blades is Wario?
I don't know, some fucking
Locke?
Thelonious or whatever.
Sonata.
Sonata is Mario and Locke is Luigi.
That's crazy.
it's actually
Locke is
really
green
perfect.
and Sonata wears red. That's crazy.
It fits their personalities too.
Oh my god.
It's-
Okay.
it just
Read
makes
the
sense.
freaking patrons or the members.
Yeah, I want to give a big
Yes.
shout out to
Quick
our
before I go
members.
down more of this stupid rabbit hole.
Thank you so much to all the people who support us here. Big shout out to Syra, Scuffed Dice, House of Cards, Modern Mischief, Bavelga, Wintermute, Throwin' Elk, Trotting Troll, Lord of All Frogs, Jay Quartz, Cage Corley, Ashton, Aiden Bauman, Nom Nom Fish, Ironclad Bard, White Legs, Papa Rhodes, Tech Guy, Lord Goob, Sir Galarak, Sarah Von Ada, It's Floods, Fjord Fiokus, Falling Leaf, Brendan Penman, Shark Enthusiast, Jack of Spades 101, Dan Bissell, Alas Melige, we are out of the pancakes. That's funny. As Aereo 22, Corbin Your Mom, Bako Musha, Jackie the Scatty, Captain Dadbod, Paula Rico, Velvet Nightmare, Sloan Running, 501 Ghost, Dave the Grand, Leona Dawn, Ain, Disco Matter, Plata Knight, Drezzo Art, Bugs and Jars, Shinshiji, Meme Strider 707, Saint Mia. Hey guys, it's Mia.
Mia.
Corey Bouchon,
Mia.
Ben 5eva,
Mia.
Pepper I made a Halo TTRPG that runs jank, Robert Linsenman, Malder 95, Catchers, Lita Easermans, TJ Bojangles, Mimi M, Mark T, Dennis Pursley, Order for Boss Hog. Boss Hog?
Boss Hog?
Hossbog.
Sleevey, Driftwood,
Bossbog.
Gary Easler, Ellie, Jensen, Alazar, Albayard, Dennis Gettomazo, Shalana Wow, Oliver Winch, Master Bobio, Daniel Morton, Black Duskin 2MB, Michael Badger, Anxiety Opossum, Boss Hog when Hoss Bog enters the chat.
Yes.
There you go.
Epic, Astral Hippie, Morzuni, Snow Crisp, Trigger Happy Elmo, Miniature Q, Ruja, Luke Stowe, Brent the Bubble Ruler, Dawn Mon, Good 33 Fun, The One Who Goons, I'm Curla 249, Aid Writer of Fanfic, Marvin the Marlin, Drink the Dirty Water, Snake Cheat, Lego Builder 899, Boulder Games, Damian Ironscale, Shania LaBulge, Dollar Store Off Brand, Forever Freya, E-Sif, Kate 12, Beaky Hats, Dade Williams, Man Ray, Her Drake, Glasses and Cake, Matt McCann, Mr. Corny Cargo, Katara Laracy, Seclusive Chaos, Binary the Scrap Robot, Bitter Nathan, Captain Bluebeard, Riptide, Anthony Laterio, Tobias Wildfang, Aids Gwen, Happy Wolf, Mastercam 12, Pixel Fox, Space Owl, Prof Wheatney Kundi, One Pigeon Imp with a Broken Neck, Kyle Squishy, Multi Super Marion, Omar Tejada, David Lewis, Owen Gafo, Rism with the Tism, Binder by Nate, Big Tony's cousin, Poobert Shit and Armor, Duchess of Slods, various forms of Dormammu, Underloved Ghost, Crimson Bryant, and then our freaking Giga Chad members who hit the 1 year mark.
Hell yeah.
Big shout out to Julio, Shady Octopi, Lady RB of the Drive-Thru, Lord Martarius, Riley's Rangers, Daniel B, Dodo, The Golly, Skedaddle 16, Vale Ridge, Blaze the Arcane Anomaly, The First Noel, X Daedric Assassin X, Brittany Anderson, Will, Parallel Alley, Expo 77, KFB Guardsman, Jakima Pinorov, but with an Australian accent, Gila Salai, Danny A, The Red Duncan 64, Raven, and EP Snorlax going downhill shouting, Brown Line!
Brown line.
It's a little podcast.
Of course.
Thank you. Bingus Wingus, Ethan, Gamer Not Found, Greyhound Rush, Batty Bell, Barden, Pavi, Panda Knight, Vox Ratio, Calanthoralis, Corvid Eye, Elder Akuma, Sorit, Bren the Brain, Brain the Bren, Ethan Bishop, Demagrade, Sister Schemo, Servant of Zinch, Gingifet, Darth Stiggs, Tree Man, Severez, Cybertrunk Hunter, Magorna, Axel, Mad Harrier, it's Albert,
It's Albert.
It's Albert.
Agent Immortal, Henry Scorp, Sullivan, Danny Dorito, Nerdy Zookeeper, Revan the Fire Mage, Ghostly Unicorn, and John Booback. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate y'all. And then also big shout out to our patrons who are supporting us on patreon.com/arcanearcade. Big shout out to Scuffed Dice, aka the 50,000th dog gunned down by the police this year.
Rest in peace.
Another podcast reference. We found out statistics about that.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
it's
really
it's terrible.
funny.
It's terrible.
It was so terrible, and we definitely didn't laugh the whole time. Tasha Companion, Cage Corley, Cowboy with a Big Iron on his hip, Gorble Gunker, Andreas Nilsson, Bako Musha, who made their name overly long just to have the cast... you fuckers.
That's really funny.
Bako Musha, who made their name overly long just to have the cast read actionable threats against Nazis on stream.
There we go.
Glink, Schmerik, Plain Rug, Xavier Walker, Sir Galbrack, Shortstop says, Mr. Buds, I don't feel so good, and then disintegrates.
Oh no.
Platonite,
feelings right
Anastasia Enjoyer, I love Conjuration. Calanth,
Thank you.
LSD, Soup, James the Destroyer of Tacos, Father of Dogs, Riley's Rangers, Herald of Homies, Azarian 105, Ryan, Gosling, 6969, tap to add X mana, X is Thirst of, Artemis, who...
What?
Well, hold on.
Okay, every time I do this, it's a new name, okay?
Okay.
Azarian 105, Ryan, Gosling, 6969, tap to add X mana, X is Thirst of, Artemis, who is actually indeed dead for real. Grace was right all along.
Oh no. Come back.
Yeah, I
Joskimo,
know.
Brittany
I was like,
Anderson,
oh.
Glade comes out with a butt plug. Pleasure never smelt so
hate
good.
this one.
Pass without fear. A whole new meaning to plug it in.
That's good.
My
That's
favorite
good.
is Grace saying, I hate this one. It's been there enough times.
It's pretty brutal.
Lego Builder
Dangerous
89,
imagery.
Lego Builder 899, thanking y'all for the Pathfinder 2-week inspiration and motivation. Hell yeah. Nulf counting 5 gifted subs, 1 tree man.
That's awesome.
You want to know something really funny? Treeman actually just gifted 5 subs.
Let's go! Sleeper phrase activated. Thank you, Goose. Thank you.
Modifius Fallout Factions pre-order bonuses, a Raider mini and power armor, keep and crown for those wanting a cool Raider boss. Hell yeah.
Talking about Fallout, for those who play 76, like you did
The
briefly.
ghoul, I
the
saw.
ghoul, you can become a ghoul
you can
now.
be a ghoul now. That's crazy.
Yep.
Stainless Helena, ML Wolf, Sickjoy, Shista, Scythe Owl, Tree Man, Redbeard, One Sack, One Load, Death Wolf, Payment Declined. Bob said I made his name overly long just to make the cast read it for no reason other than his own amusement.
Good.
Reptilian Daedra, the power to make the reader say some wacky stuff, some straight up Ghibli gobbles, a yoinky splinky even. Big Hoscape the Goat, Dormammu Lord of Doors, God's favorite narcissist, Argus Fallen, Alex Lilybottom. Shuriken Sean once again reminded that the characters... Jesus. Shuriken Sean once again reminded that the characters... Sorry, Sean. Jesus, I don't know how to read. Shuriken Sean once again reminded that the character death from Discworld fits perfectly in D&D. Barden, but if my OCs are going to keep living in my head, they better start paying rent. Zach, currently in a session with a laser hallway in a facility controlled by a rampant AI.
Good luck.
Seizure of power.mp4. Fancy Arthas, Will Pratt, possibly related to Chris Pratt, Pimp the Hood, Mom Love, and Pop Joy, and Josh.
Travis.
Thank you so much for reading those off,
so
Jacob.
much.
And I want to give a special shout out to a couple of people. The first one is Rules Lawyer Ronald. Who recently made a video in response to the Dungeon Delve episode, and also took the time to plug City of Towers. If any of you are here because you heard him talk about it, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for bearing with us as we learn how to play Pathfinder. And secondly, I want to thank my real life friends who are watching right now, Ethan and Nate. I know you're using this as background noise while you're building in our Minecraft server.
That's really funny.
I love you boys. Thank you so much. I will see you this weekend. But
I have a question, Jack. Are we not your real life friends?
no, you are my real life friends.
Yeah, no, we're fake.
But
Yeah,
they're
Jack-
also my real life
Jack only
friends.
he's like a teacher. He only has 1 real life friends.
Yeah, it's like you see me in the grocery store and you're just like, you live outside of the school?
Wait. I have some. Ethan, get a load of this guy, right?
Shut up. Also, I apologize if they mention any heinous things about me.
It's
They're
all
lying.
true.
Don't listen to them.
It's all true.
They're trying to defame me.
I think
They don't want me to
Tell the
do
most-
this anymore so
tell
that
the
I can
most
spend more
scandalous
time.
stories,
so I can spend more time on our Minecraft server.
I think I've learned
Traumatizes
something
me,
about the
it's
way
all
that
true.
Treeman gifts memberships. They've gifted 5 more, by the way.
Well,
Thank you,
he does it
Treeman.
whenever I compliment him, so I
So
try to to keep it down.
So
They just texted me. It says, yes, fuck yeah, yes, we are literally playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
And Ethan said, get a load of this guy. Oh, my boys, my
Dude,
sweet
Jack,
boys.
I'm so happy
I was
you
gonna
converted
say-
to Islam. That's so awesome. for you.
Bro, that's crazy.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you can also choose to donate 10 memberships. So do you think Treeman does it in 2 sets of 5?
Maybe.
Like we say it and then it's like, hey, thanks again.
Okay.
But no, seriously,
Let's
thank
get
you,
back into
Treeman.
Eberron,
Thank you so
City
much,
of
Treeman.
Towers.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So, where we left off, we are in the Forge Hold. Spencer will be back soon, by the way.
shit.
We are in the Forge Hold. Beerbot has made a deal with Marex. We cut. He wants all of you to be present for it, kind of like last time, just in case anything happens. And
Oh, and actually having Keely here too is probably pretty positive because that's what she's doing.
Beerbot, you're currently lying on an operating slab, effectively, as the artificers around Marex are beginning to, hook you up to various machines and magical sensors and things like that. And I think Marex approaches you while you're on the table, and he says, you say it's a great deal of pain whenever she tries to interface.
Yes, but the theory is, if you're right and the only reason I can go into combat mode is because of it, then if she tries to interact in that same moment, it might work. And I tend to be more resilient in that mode. I think it'll be fine.
He says, well, we're finishing up the final preparations. And I think as he walks away and begins, fiddling with other things, you're facing that viewport out over the lava pits, and they bubble and roil. And as you're staring out of it, everything around you kind of fades away briefly. Not necessarily the people disappear. It's almost like you just can't really see them anymore, as your vision sort of goes into tunnel mode, and you can only see what's directly in front of you. And something is crawling along the front of the observation port.
It's a worm.
It's this creature that you've seen before. Feline in shape, red and black fur, wings splayed out behind her, and her face, this hauntingly beautiful, elvish face. This is the Sphinx, Flamewind, who you all have not seen since you were at the Tane Gala in episode 7.
Jeez.
Oh, God.
The last time any of you interacted with her, she informed Stick of the gravity of the choice he was going to make to save Hadethir Wynard.
Over a year ago, y'all.
30 episodes later, she has returned. And as she crawls up the front, it's like you can see almost in time lapse, quick motion with blur, people move around you. You see your friends, you see Marex, all this happens. And slowly she crawls up, her almost defying gravity with the way that she, like a spider, just sort of crawls along the viewport. And as she gets in front of it, she looks directly at you. I want to let you all know a little something about Flamewind. We are moving beyond the realm of the game right now and entering the meta. Flamewind is one of the greatest living oracles of all time, and has one of the best knowledges of the Draconic Prophecy. Cool. The Draconic Prophecy, as it exists, is, for me, in this game of Eberron, it is the greater will that guides the entire world. I am the Draconic Prophecy. And whenever Flamewind appears, she does not speak with her voice, she speaks with mine. When she appears,
Wild ride.
it is me your game master, your friend, Jack, trying to communicate something to your character. That, like I said to Grace before, I am circumstance and I am consequence. And in between all of that, the gulf that lies there, lies your choice. And when Flamewind appears, it is because you are about to make a consequential choice. You are at a crossroads. As the greater will of Eberron, my voice speaks through Flamewind the Sphinx to you, Beerbot. You are at a crossroads. The decision that you make in this moment will not just affect your own life. It will ripple across the world of Eberron like a stone thrown in a still pond. It will touch so many lives. Lives of those you know, of those you love, of those you've never met, of those you can't even comprehend. You have a choice in this matter. Inside that docent is something that will change everything. If you find it, if you establish contact with it, your life and the lives of so many others will forever be changed. The Sphinx Flamewind, and thus myself, do not stand here as an arbiter in this decision. It is not my job to decide whether what you do is right or wrong. This world is far too complicated to cast things in such simple boundaries. The choice is yours, and I am here to inform you that you should not make this choice rashly. You have a choice, Beerbot. Plumb into the depths of the docent and see what awaits inside you. Or turn back now and preserve what status quo your life is currently in. There is no right nor wrong answer. There is only the choice that you make. I lead you to the water. It's your choice whether you drink it. But know that beyond this choice, consequence lurks. And this will become something of an oft-repeating monologue throughout the end of this game as we head into the final episodes.
I think that as all of that is being imparted to Beerbot, he kind of thinks about where he's at now and where he has been. And I think that there would have been a point where he would have decided that it would be the right decision to turn back and not discover whatever's happening with this, whatever's happening with him. But what we've established about the budding relationship with Keeley, I think, would drive him to wanting to understand what's happening. And maybe they've talked about it, and maybe she's also expressed wanting to understand what's up with this thing. Regardless, there's probably a moment of trepidation where he starts considering turning back. But then her voice, you know, she's there as well, but her voice he kind of looks over and her voice flashes in his head of the, I'm still getting used to it, but I'm going to go wherever you do. And he pushes forward.
Okay. A choice has been made. This is your last chance. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes.
All right. Everything fades back. You blink. Flamewind is gone. Merrick looks at you and says, "We're ready. Mara, begin at your convenience." And she says to you, she says, "It's your signal. Activate combat mode, and I'll knock the door down."
Yeah, there's nothing holding them from doing it.
All right. You activate combat mode. Adrenaline rushes through your body. And you can feel Mara's influence rushing down from your head to your core like a wave of cold water. And as it strikes, you can feel the sizzle of pain as cold meets heat, as this explosion of pain radiates inside you, even with your combat mode and the resilience it offers. This is an agonizing experience. You all watch as Beerbot writhes against the restraints that he is in, wails in agony like you have never heard before. And as this delves deeper, there are flashes in your mind of places and people and things that you have never seen. You stand in a hallway with the toppled statues of giant kings, with something glowing at the far end, something that beckons to you, something that calls your name, but you don't know what it is. You stand amid an army of your children. You see them march off to war against your will. You see yourself banished. And as everything begins to crescendo to a devastating, deathly climax, everything goes still. You rock back into your table. There's a new presence inside of you. A new voice that says, "You cannot tell him that I'm here. He will never let you leave."
It's Aaron, isn't it?
It is.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
It's Daddy.
Daddy's dead.
Daddy's weird.
A voice that
Papa.
you recognize but had forgotten. One of the first voices that welcomed you into this world after Merrick's made you. Before the banishment. Mara says, "What?" And you feel her get like shunted out of your head. As in your mind, he says, "You damn fool. Do you realize what you've done? You've undone everything. After all the pain I put you through, you do this to yourself? You would let me out? You don't understand what you've just done. I'm so sorry. I tried to stop you, but you wouldn't listen. I can't help what comes next. But I can tell you for whatever time you have left, you cannot stay here. Lie to him. Tell him it didn't work. He cannot know that I am here. He will not let you leave." You can feel Mara trying to fight her way back into your head, but this presence is stronger. And I think Merrick looks at you. He says, "Well, what happened? Are you all right? Did it work?"
I'm okay. I'm okay. You were right. A lot of pain.
Did it work? Was it worth it? Don't tell me we put you through that for nothing.
Sometimes nothing is worth it.
What's your deception modifier?
Oh dear.
Not high.
I was gonna say.
I'll push over like glasses or something.
Okay.
What is it?
+1.
+1.
Oh, beer butt. Oh.
At advantage.
Let's
Don't kill.
All right.
We killed one dragonborn. Two.
A lie told.
Life.
He sighs. He looks out the window. And he says, then I'm still empty-handed. What puzzle did you leave me, Father? I'm sorry, Beerbot. I'm sorry that I put you through so much pain for this stupid, selfish endeavor. I won't keep you here any longer. Take Mara and go. I need to think.
So I have a question.
What? What is it?
Does the Lord of Blades know about Beerbot?
Yes. They were quite close, but I doubt Beerbot remembers. The pain did a number on him. When I tried to remove the Dozen for the first time, it was like he was born anew. That you were able to still hold on, despite all that, you've grown resilient. I'm sorry that I had to be the one to push that boundary.
I've done
You
nothing.
could have lost everything.
I've done nothing more than what you've taught me.
I don't know if there's anything more I can teach you.
That's why you set me out, right?
Yes. That's why I'm setting you free again. Go. I won't bother you any further.
That's boss battle music right there, though.
No, it sounds good.
It's just scary.
He kind of stands, and I think there is a world where there's a past where he probably would have put a hand on Merrick's shoulder, like in kind of like a moment of like, it's okay, like don't, like, but I think he's afraid that any contact might somehow trigger this feeling of Aaron being present. And he just turns and looks at Keeley, and I feel like there's probably in his body language, because he can't really give it. Merrick's is looking away. He doesn't know. But Keeley can tell something's up. And we need to go.
Yeah, I think Merrick says that. He says, you all should go.
Fine.
Right away.
Okay.
Ready to go, Beerbot?
Yeah.
Aye, aye.
And as you all leave, we're left with Merrick's just staring out over the cauldron of lava below Sharn. There's bubbles and roils. There's a slight tremor, some explosion deep beneath the earth. Causes some bubbles to rise to the surface. Burst as it like flashes in his face. And I think that's the last we see of Merrick's for a little bit. You all head back to the storm tower. Aaron lets Mara back into your head.
Oh, so are they both there?
They are both there now. It is very crowded. And I think Mara says, who are you? And how were you able to overpower? And he says,
I can tell. I can tell. Aaron.
He says, I didn't want this to happen.
Clearly, I didn't realize you were...
That was the point.
Why the note, then?
That note was written by someone that isn't me. It's funny that I should meet you here, Mara, considering I followed your footsteps. Long ago, a giant queen sundered her mind in two. so that her legacy could live on. I found that technology, and I performed the procedure. Split my consciousness in two and stored each of them in protodocents and left them to my son. But sundering a mind, you might as well be creating a brand new person.
The other you.
Yes.
He would know your handwriting.
Mm. Like Mara, it just so happened that you, Beerbot, happened to get the docent that contained my passion, my righteous fury, my devotion, and my guilt. 80S got my cold intellect, my cunning and prodigious influence over artifice, my ability to lead. And he has completely overtaken who 80S used to be. And now that you've let me loose, your days are numbered as well. You've started the Gorgon Protocol. Soon, my personality will subsume yours. I don't know how long you have. I tried to stop you. I'm sorry.
Hey, Bearbot, everything okay over there? You've been quiet this whole walk back to the storm tower.
I got some giant silver hand up in here.
I don't think he answers.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with him?
I don't know. He's been... Maybe it was the pain. I've never seen him react like that before.
I think Beerbot would speak to Aaron, and he would say, if it's a protocol, based off of what Merrick's told me, there's a way to undo it, yes?
Do you really think that Merrick's would undo it?
No, I'm not talking about him.
Beerbot, we're dealing with technology that House Kenneth can barely comprehend.
You did it.
I know. But that part of me is not the thing that's inside of you. It's inside of him.
He's coming here.
He is. Really.
There's no reason he wouldn't. He's in the Mornland right now. Rumors say he's building an army.
And coming here.
Yes, I opened this with hopes that maybe it would be the solution to giving us a better future.
And by doing so, I'm erasing yours. It's everything that I was afraid of. I brought the Warforged into this world. They're like my children, and I sent them off to die in another man's war. And I thought that at the very least, with this guilty heart that beats inside this docent, that maybe I could keep at least one of them safe. But I failed.
No. No, you haven't. Not yet. You said there's time.
I will do everything I can to slow the process, but the floodgates are open. I think Mara says, I won't let you do this, Kenneth. You won't take him from me. And he says, well, then he's lucky. You have 2 warriors fighting on your side now. But even we cannot hold them back. We can't hold back entropy.
What if you said that you're not? If anything, whatever this has given me to work with, I have the same dream that you do, Aaron. To see the Warforged anew. At the end of this, if you've given me the strength to do that, it will have been worth it. But I don't exactly intend on whiling away now that I've started to find myself.
I've been a silent passenger for all of it. I've seen you. All the things you've done. I'm proud of you. For all the good that's worth now that I'm killing you. But there may be a way. I won't know until we find him.
The Lord of Blades.
Yes. Maybe there's a way. Unfortunately, you're stuck with the angry part of me, not the smart one.
That explains so much.
Even holding everything back, I suppose I did have something of an influence on you.
And even holding everything back, you're the reason I'm alive right now.
Not for much longer.
You've given me more years than I would have had.
I will do everything that I can to make sure that I do not send you to oblivion.
You already said that. I trust you. For what it's worth. Mara,
Yes.
if you would work with him. I know.
There's this like instinctual anger, and she says,
But if I'm gonna have my best chance at survival, I don't need two minds in my head at each other's throats.
you're right. Very well, Kenneth.
I don't plan on dying. You know that.
I know. I don't want that to happen. Well, then let us get to work, human. We need to save him. And he says, yes, we do.
How in Delore am I going to tell Keeley this? Or the Six?
Hello.
You know, it's
Yeah,
in the
we
back.
probably stop.
Yeah, like
Yeah, you as you sort of look up, everyone has gathered around in front of you.
Yeah, it's like, look,
Your
Beerbot,
butt.
Hey guys,
of like, you're not really.
Oh,
quiet
are you
like
there?
this.
we need to. I'll talk when we get back to the Storm Tower.
Yay.
This isn't safe.
War room. Boop. We're back. Is Keeley here?
Star back.
Absolutely.
Is Aram here?
Starman white.
Yeah.
That's a stick decision.
Yes.
Heard.
Look at him.
And I think
He gives you a kiss.
Hello.
I think Beerbot would sit kind of in a position where he can see everyone. Obviously.
At the head of the table.
Oh, cool.
I guess in this
looking at
specific
you very
case.
concerned.
Yeah.
And
like,
he would doors are all closed. He would even ask Severin to just double check everything, make sure that there's no plants, make sure that there's nothing that can hear us.
Okay. I was like, what?
After a thorough search, you find nothing.
like a soul sight?
Sure.
After a thorough soul sight,
Sector
Not
right
even
there.
you find M, your cat, hanging out under the table.
Spy! I'm just kidding.
Just the cat.
The cat.
No ghosts.
The cat probably like would
They
come
don't talk
apart.
to Whiskers
you know,
anymore,
like
do
fucking
they?
Legos. And...
No.
Okay.
I think as far as Whiskers told you, M never really did. M was just kind of there.
Im's not much of a talker.
I think Beerbot would say, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to tell him that these are the people it's safe to let know.
As Beerbot says this, I think Aaron says in your head, then I have your consent to take control.
Will it speed up the process?
It'll be easier for me to explain it, I think.
I mean the protocol.
He says, oh, I don't know. If you don't want to risk it, I understand.
You have 1 minute.
I won't waste it.
Quick, where's the timer?
Beerbot's the yellow eyes in Beerbot's fade. When Mara speaks, it's a green. When Aaron speaks, they're red. And he says,
Buddy.
hello, Storm Tower 6. You don't know me, but I know all of you. I am Aaron DeCaneth.
What the?
What remains of him, at least. Many years ago, after my banishment, I sought a way.
You're the second docent.
Yes, I am.
Lovely.
I sought a way to preserve my mortality, to continue to live, even dying as I was. I split my mind in two, much like Makanamara of the Kordan Empire did centuries ago. The part of me that contained anger, passion, everything that motivated me, all the love in my heart, everything that made me care, was placed in Birbad. Everything cruel and cunning, everything that motivated my cold intellect, my genius, my prodigy, went into Birbad's sibling, the Lord of Blades.
Oh.
You couldn't have, like, split that in half?
Unfortunately, it was not my decision. It was the Aaron before me. Unfortunately, Birbad has broken through the barriers that I tried to put up to keep him out, and now Gorgon Protocol is being activated.
Okay, what's
We were made.
1 minute. I literally pulled up to the minute.
You can take control back. He wrests it freely from you.
And this is
Where'd it go?
perfect timing. He mentioned it in Gorgon Protocol.
Yeah,
What is that?
I don't fully understand it, but the way that he put it is that essentially, unless we figure something out, he will take over.
Shit.
I will get no say in the matter, and he can't stop it. Nor
Why?
can Mara.
Please remind them that I did try and stop you from doing this. I don't want them to hate me any more than they already do.
I'm
know.
like... Sorry, I was responding to that.
I
Something different.
assume. Actually, yeah, he would ask. He was like, why the protocol?
Because because Aaron was dying and he wanted to live forever. And he also wanted to become closer to his children that he might lead them to a better future.
I see. I understand.
Ego.
But he could not store his knowledge in one docent. There were no docents available to do so. He had to make these. And because they're so limited, he could only store 2 halves of his conscience in each one. Or sorry, 1 half of his conscience in each one.
Yep.
He's limited by the technology of his time.
Based off of what he's telling me, and I have no reason to doubt him, the full version of him, because similar to Mara, it's 2 pieces, wanted to live forever. So,
As we
in the
all do.
docent, it was set that if his consciousness was unlocked, it would take over. He
All right,
doesn't.
well, who put him in you, Merrick's?
Yes.
Yes.
Did he? So he didn't know.
No, I
Merrick's
lied to him.
Merrick's didn't know.
Aaron told me that I couldn't tell Merrick's that he was in there.
And you
Oh
lied.
shit!
If I told him,
I
and
know.
he kind of glances to Keeley. He's like, if I told him, I don't think Merrick's would have let me go.
Why?
Oh, he wouldn't have.
His dad is in me. It's the secret to everything he
It's
wants.
also fucking.
I
repetitive.
am the secret to everything he wants,
They
Azeraphis.
take things apart. They put it back together. They improve it. They want
Why?
to.
Oh,
I didn't know he cared about his dad that much.
It wouldn't even be that.
It's
It'd be
not his
scientific
dad.
Discovery.
I am Merrick's promise of flame.
Well, that's one way to put it.
Or at least this,
Well,
this
his father is.
other docent.
The docent. Now that Aaron is free, he could study it. He could figure it out. He could go get the technology to make these himself and put himself in one.
And replicate
So it's not-
immortality.
Regardless.
Well, you are, yes, but it's the docent,
Yes, but it's not removable. To remove it would be to kill me,
and it's going to take you over because you found out what it was.
because I opened it.
You unlocked it.
You know, Pandora's
You
box
open the
or
door and it's coming
whatever
out.
that version is.
There's no way to stop the
It's not
tide.
your fault, Beer.
There is maybe a way.
Curiosity.
Oh.
is kind
We
of
don't know. And we can't rely on House Kenneth now.
Absolutely not.
For any of their technology.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for
I know we.
catching on.
I know we don't like Azeraphis' opinion here, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. If it was my decision, we'd force Merrick's to do it. I know we can't do
That
that.
isn't gonna
We don't
happen.
have the ability to do that. This is his fucking mess. It's his dad's mess, and now you have to fix it.
Well,
and you're the victim of this situation.
He's in me,
anyways.
and he's trying, for what it's worth.
It's their mess,
The
but
version of him that holds all of his hatred and
Well, here's the-
He's
ingenuity.
trying to preserve you just so he can preserve himself.
No, you don't
He
understand.
wouldn't give a shit about you if he wasn't inside you.
If he how do I explain this? If he wanted to, he could try to speed up the process. Mara is in my head. She is helping keep tabs, right? There's 2 people in there. I genuinely think
3, I
that
guess.
this version of Aaron wants to help. I think the version that my brother got. There's a reason that the Lord of Blades is the Lord of Blades. It's not 8OS. It's
So you
Aaron
think the Lord of
DeCanneth.
Blades can remove it from you?
No, I think that
There's
Aaron
two.
DeCanneth can remove it from me.
There's 2 parts to it, and the Lord of Blades has the other part. We need
And that
both
part has
parts.
the expertise to be able to remove it from
The
you.
intellect,
Sound-
yes.
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Well, we were about.
Well,
I
he was
mean,
the one who
It's
did,
like
who did in the first place.
Remember Mara? Remember the
The puppet show, the crowd
the
of
puppet
Woven
show?
Steel.
The crown of woven steel. The Mara that I have and the Mara that we fought. How they're 2 different people.
No, I understand.
The Lord of Blades has the other part.
I understand. I understand.
And unfortunately, Aaron DeCanneth, the one that doesn't exist anymore, the one that split his mind into
old
2,
Aaron DeCanneth. Yeah.
decided to give all of his intellect to the hateful one.
Nice. Chill. Code logic, you know. Well, Beerbot. I mean,
I think Aaron says, to be fair, I did not choose which docent went into which warforged. He says, he says, I did not know how the technology would work. I was foolish. I did not realize how drastically different the 2 sides of my consciousness would be.
Oh, interesting. I thought that this Aaron had no idea what the other Aaron was thinking.
Well, he has vague memories of what previous
Gotcha.
Aaron thought. Aaron was looking for a
pieces.
way to preserve his mortality because he
Right.
was dying. And he thought that putting himself in a Warforged body could save him. And the second thing is that by doing so, he could possibly lead the Warforged to a better future.
it's very aligned with what.
It's almost, I would say that probably this one knows of the previous Aaron's more emotional thoughts
Yes,
on it,
exactly.
while the other one is the intellectual thoughts on it.
I think that's what Aaron
Gotcha.
tells you in his head.
It's like cold intellect versus empathy.
yes, pretty much.
Gotcha.
That's the same thing that happened with Mara.
not the sympathy, but like
You
it's
got
all
Mara's empathy, and Makana and Mara are like the 2 sides.
Yeah.
You got Mara, and then Makana was the Queen of Woven Steel.
I think then what Beerbot would say without Aaron having to interfere was he would say, the past Aaron, I don't think, was aware of how drastic it would be. We've already learned that it's all or nothing. Either all of the kindness or none of it. All of the intellect. Or
All right.
so, like I said, we can't. I already know we didn't intend on relying on my dad for anything. But, like, if I go down again, like I did before, if anything happens to me, we can't go to him.
Of course.
Hmm?
I said, of course.
Is this Keeley?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw the look on your face and went,
This is all just
Yeah,
so
characters-
much to
Jack
take
has
in,
to-
and you can just see
Right.
she's a very analytical person. She's an artificer. She's used to solving problems. I think you know her well enough that she is running every possible calculation in her head for how she can fix this, and everything is coming up nil. There is no you just feel like this wave of the shame that one feels when they are powerless to change something just radiating off of her.
It's terrible. Hurts.
oh, what can I say? I don't think it's hopeless yet. I think there are just unknown variables.
Well, yeah, we gotta wait for the Lord of Blades.
What is your idea anyways, Aaron?
My thought is
I'll
that-
even let him take over for this. For the moment.
I'll make this brief. My thought is that if the Lord of Blades does come and we find a way to subdue him, we can find a way to merge 2 halves. If I can matriculate into his body, then I can take it.
You would become him.
I would become him. And then you would be rid of me, and I would be in the Lord of Blades.
He's gonna try to do the same thing.
It's entirely possible.
We just have to be better.
All right. Well,
Well, you have us and you have Mara.
Keely,
That might be a leg
Yes.
up there.
if there's anything that would help you, I guess consider what we might need here to do that. Because I can't go, like I said, I can't go to Dad.
I'll try.
Anything that you need, we
Beerbot,
can-
this is all so crazy. We're talking about something that's never been done by humankind before. And Aaron went and did it. And we don't even have the one that really did it. We're acting against someone who's much smarter than both of us. All of us. I'm sorry. This is just all so much. But you're right, we can't give up hope. We can do this. I need to think. I can come up with something. I don't know.
Keely. Nobody else knows him better than you do. You're all we have. Yeah, it's a lot.
But-
You gonna do it for Beerbot?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What I will say to try and make you feel a little bit better is, all of us, the entire Storm Tower 6 and the whole gang in total, this is not the first impossible thing we've done.
It's
It won't
true.
be the last.
Look at
It's just,
look at this.
I know.
it's your time to
I know.
come join the band.
Well, okay.
Whatever you
Thank
need.
you.
I have
Thank you, Renna.
all faith in you. At the very least, all you need to do is try your best and be there for Bebop.
I can do that.
We'll try and
I
set
think
up. We'll,
I can
we'll
do
try
that.
and help set up the rest.
I think he would kind of walk over and kind of, I don't know, I guess he's tall. he kind of like in my head, elaborate. Let me elaborate. In my head, I imagine like even sitting there, he's probably tall because the way that Taurus like all that works. So he'd probably like instead he would just kneel down like beside her and kind of lean close and I think that he would say, well, I had it in my head and now it's gone. That's always fun.
I think as you kneel before her, I think she takes her hand and just holds your face in her hands and just looks at you.
You know what? Perfect. I think he kind of looks. There's the little glow, the glow that is his glow, right? And I think he says, no matter how much time there is, this is all that I really need.
I think she pulls you in and she kisses you. It's strange to look at because Beerbot does not have lips. But I mean, it's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very human thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
And I think she pulls away and she just says, I am not going to lose you. I won't.
I don't intend on getting lost.
She like kind of shakes your head a little bit. Good. Good. Okay. I need to think.
We have you, me, a giant, and Aaron DeKenneth on our side.
Who could stop us?
Nobody.
And I think at that
Half a giant, half a-
she says, I need to plan, and I think I may need to connect with Aaron and Mara. I don't want them to take over in case it does anything about this Gorgon protocol. I want to run some diagnostics on you, see if I can learn more about how this is going, how much of a timeline we necessarily have. And I think the door opens and Minzy walks in with her minifigures and is like, "Oh, hey guys,
We have a room for this now.
I'm sorry. I
had
thought
sign
I
up.
booked the conference room for." And she says, "Hey, Aram, what are you doing here? I thought you went with Asherin over to the patrol Broken Mirror territory."
I run out.
What?
I'm already running. I'm running.
I was like, what? And Aaron's like, "Minzy, what are you talking about? I'm right here." It's like, no. You went with. You took Asherin and some of the firebolts to go and set the Broken
now.
Mirror.
Now.
Motherfucker.
I just want to say, I react first because I know Citra can do it.
Yep. I was gonna say
It's been on his mind. He's like,
the rest of us are aware of that, right?
Yes, but it wouldn't occur to us.
No, I know.
regular,
But
like,
Beerbot
to-
runs out. Azeraphis runs out.
I'm having nightmares about it.
No, absolutely. I think Beerbot like stands up once he puts it together, and he grabs Stick and he runs.
It's just
and I think he says, "Stick, I think that's Citra."
Oh, great.
It definitely is. Round 2, baby.
You guys book it towards Broken Mirror.
You know
territory.
what? I think he's also not thinking too much. He's letting whatever emotions are high, and as he runs, he says, "We're coming back. Love you, Keely."
She's too flustered.
There's no
Wait!
time.
As you disappear. You all.
We gotta go save Stick, sister.
eventually, I feel like they catch up to Azeraphis, and Azeraphis turns and he says, and I don't know if he says anything else. He's just the rest of you are following after him, right? And we're moving, and he says, "This isn't good."
No, clearly not.
Yeah.
Is Aram with us?
No, Aram stays at the Storm Tower.
Yeah.
There always has to be one.
One.
Wait a second.
We got
That's the.
Wait a second.
That's the.
What if that's Citra?
You say as we're moving, and Azeraphis is like, "Well, we have to find out, don't we?"
Yeah, I was gonna look him over, but then you picked me up.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Keely, you're in charge. Aaron, you're with us.
Yeah? Is that happening?
Oh, do we go
We're
back?
already gone.
No.
We're already gone. We had to get,
You have an opportunity.
we had to
Pointed
get.
that out before.
Okay, wait.
I was already thinking that before people
We're
started.
gonna take a step back. We have an opportunity. We've learned what that means. Arrow Miss Spencer's NPC.
Okay, yeah, come on, Aaron.
He's like, hey, if it's my firebolts, they're in danger. I gotta go help them. He joins you guys.
Hey, by the way, I know this is like we're on the way right now. This could potentially be really bad, but I think I pissed off the voice of chaos.
What?
Yeah.
Did all of us start keeping secrets 30 minutes after we all laid our cards on the table?
No.
Does anyone else have anything they need to say?
Oh my god.
Severin,
Not really, no.
Severin, who is missing for
Nothing more than weeks. That's what he said.
Severin was missing for like 3 weeks, and none of us know where he went.
Yeah, but he does that all the time.
No, this time it was different. Lily was sad.
Please put me down.
Oh my god.
Okay.
God, I'm looking at the time. I don't know if I will have time to run a combat here.
No worries.
But it is 9:50.
Long game. Let's go.
I don't know.
I don't have the
That's fair.
ability. I have
As you all,
I have a
okay.
12-hour day tomorrow. So
Are we
Ooh,
satisfied?
God.
Can I look over Aram?
Sure.
Has he been bitten by a vampire, perhaps?
Roll medicine.
Oh, that's right.
I should say I don't actually think it's Citra. I think it's probably like a fucking changeling.
Well, we don't know.
Sorry.
But I just wanted to rationalize that Azeraphis.
If the thought's been put in Stick's
Oh,
head.
because if you pissed off the...
Voice it. Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Side traders in general.
And that's
She's
why I
like
think
her
what
own
he's explaining,
creator
he's just
right now.
like his name. Can you tell me his name again?
Kashtarak.
His name is Kashtarak, and he's
Well, that's real hard to say.
kind of a
Kashi.
He's kind of stuck. He's honestly kind of a puppet in this entire situation. He dug the hole and made a lot of sacrifices over a really long time. I feel a little bad for him, but there's nothing I can do, and there's nothing he can do. And he got a little mad that I was a little bit like, kind of your fault. You're gonna help us no matter what. And he called me ungrateful.
So do you think that this isn't...
I don't know. He's the reason why most of everything has happened. He pit Citra against me. He caused oh fuck, there was something he did with you, Bearbot, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Jacob can't remember what it was.
He was the one who deceived Mara into becoming the Queen of Woven Steel.
He was the one who deceived Mara into becoming the Queen of Woven
That's the
Steel.
puppet show that you saw.
Yeah.
That was Kashtarak.
It
That
was
deceived
entirely him.
Makana
He's been
Mara.
orchestrating this entire thing. But he needs the promise of flame. He needs me. He needs all of us.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't be him then.
There's also the embodiment of chaos underneath Sharn.
Cool!
What?
I think
He
that...
spent a really long time trying to bring it back, but now he wants to kill it because he wants to kill a god.
Sure he
Jesus
does.
Christ.
Sure he does.
That's what he told me.
Why is this not the first one that we've heard either?
Okay. So.
Because we
everyone
had
wanted-
to go see Merrick's.
Yeah.
Well, no. I know it's why are there so many people wanting to kill God?
It's anime. Don't
No,
you
it's
know?
honestly
I
kind of
love it.
based. I kind of agree with him.
Kind of face.
But he's so remorseful about it. He's like, "Ugh, I need the promise of flame, so I had to do this to you." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
fuck
you-
you.
yeah,
I make
no.
my own destiny, bitch.
What the hell is heaven called in this?
Dolor?
Yeah.
Dolor?
Hey, there's
There isn't one.
There isn't
yeah,
one.
there is.
You will be
Gotcha.
you will be happily surprised by a longtime friend. Aaron DeCannon. Thanks, Rena.
You two are a match made in Dolor. Both of you want to kill a god. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, he's exactly me. Except if he fucking decided to flinch last minute. He spent millions of years devoted to one cause and then went, this isn't really what I want to do. I'm going to change it last fucking second. Too bad, bitch. You spent all that time doing that. And he's like, it's hard to change. I'm like,
Except for, like,
"Oh, it's
drinking
not my
out of
fault.
All right, let's go save
It's
Stick's
not my
sister.
fault, fucking voice of chaos.
Let's go save Stick's sister.
But he made it my fault. He fucking made it all of our faults. And now he has the gall to tell me I'm ungrateful. Motherfucker, you put me in the goddamn soup. I'm not gonna jump out of the fire. I'm gonna stay in the soup.
That makes you the frog.
So.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm trying to tell you, Beer Bot.
Very clever, beer bot. Aaron said this in your head. That was a good one. Oh god.
My thing's not as important. This is
You
great.
just have like a peanut
Wait, does Severin
gallery?
actually say that?
I think yeah, Aaron was like, oh no, please, Severin, while we're getting everything out on the table.
Where have you gone for 3 weeks?
Yeah, where have you been, man? You know how hard it is to tell Lily that you went to go get some milk?
I may hear him do it.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
tell her when
every
she comes
single
to me.
I saw her approach her. She was scared out of her wits. She said, "Where's Severin?" And he said, "Go ask Aram."
I don't know what to say. I don't know where he went.
I can go first with mine.
You have something too?
Not really, just bad dreams.
Well, quickly, we're running,
that-
so you
yeah.
have to say it fast.
I know. I've just been having backstory dreams. That's all.
Backstory. Sure. Okay.
That's it. That's
Stick. Anything
okay.
for you?
You guys are much more.
I
Same,
told you,
same.
my dad.
You're right. No,
showed
you're
up
right.
And he
Your
told me
thing-
that I could be a god.
Sorry. Your thing happened 30 minutes before, not 30 minutes after.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well done.
2 months. Oh
Your
shit.
turn.
Severin, did you
Go
discover
ahead.
something over the course of 3 weeks?
No, but I kill people.
Oh,
Okay, but that's
Okay.
part
Oh yeah,
of the
you all
course.
definitely heard about that.
Okay, wait,
You
who
all
did you
definitely
kill?
heard that the seneschal of House Deneath was murdered in his house.
it wasn't that one guy, right?
The
The shit is all of the house
Yeah.
that we all know about,
I read about it. in
and
the
all
paper.
mourned and went to his funeral.
somehow
And we were so worried about where his child went, and probably went, "Wow, I wonder where Severin." I'm just kidding,
somehow
I'm just kidding.
Newsy had
No,
the
we
information.
were
and it was
in his
accurate.
house.
Yeah, it was accurate. The
Briefly.
one time Newsy had
No,
an
I feel like
accurate
we were like,
newspaper.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's.
Like, oh, that's weird.
It's more like you guys just keep talking, so I can't really get anything out.
Go.
He'll basically say, yeah. He'll explain the whole situation. Saturn's dead. I killed him. Sadril is dead. Saturn killed him. Kezra is, yeah.
Wild.
Thora probably hates me. The end.
Fuck Thora.
That's not new.
Fuck Thora. She said, "What? Did she pin it on you? Did she make you up? Did she say it was your fault?" Yep.
Kind of
Classic Thora.
is Erebus. I mean, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But that's what I've been up to. I left
Okay.
that poor kid there. So
Well,
here we are. Shit I do all the time, so nothing new.
yeah. Aram, anything to add?
Hang on, wait. I think Azaraphus does tell Severin. He says, "Hey, yeah, the poor kid went through a fucking lot, but it was good that he ran into you. It was good that you were there.
That
You did
is
something for him.
that is true.
I killed his grandfather.
His grandfather would have killed him.
That's just not something you should have to go through.
No,
No.
you shouldn't.
No, but this is Sean. This is Eberron. It seems to happen a lot more than you wish.
Nothing.
Oh.
My brain Colton brain.
I mean, there's not much I can do about it now. I just should have rescued him before. 3 months. I know what that feels like.
Oh, well, I mean...
So that's it. It's Aram's more important right now. Or, well...
Thank you.
The fake Aram.
Speaking of that, Aram,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
No. Okay, Stick and I did bone in the conference room.
That was one time.
That was one time, though.
Dude,
I'm
nice.
sorry. I'm not one to kiss and tell, but I felt like I had to share something.
Nice.
That's his biggest secret.
Did
Gotcha.
you make sure the cleanup afterwards?
Oh, of course.
Well, then that's fine.
You didn't even. Did you know about it until I said it?
I was wondering.
What are you talking about? We were. Never mind.
I was
That's not
wondering
important.
Do you know how often I'm in the raft?
I don't want to think about that right now.
I noticed you guys were going in there, and I made sure to go the other way.
I don't want to think about that too
I
much.
went into the war room and it smelled like cherry blossom in there.
Cherry blossom. Anyways, is he bit?
Look, I'm still looking.
No,
No,
I'm good.
He's
Oh,
good.
what did you roll on your medicine check?
18.
You don't see anything.
No, he looks fine.
Okay.
With my unfortunate knowledge of changelings, are there any sort of like tells that they can kind of have sometimes?
Changelings?
I say unfortunate because he has
Roll.
2 siblings that are changelings.
What's your perception modifier?
Plus 18.
I don't think the changeling would know that Aram and Stick boned in the
Say something that only Aaron would know. Okay, we're back in the conference room.
It
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
actually Aram that Stick was with.
Oh no, that definitely did not happen. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There are. You don't tell. You can't see any of them. Maybe there are some changelings that are very good at hiding it. You're fairly confident with that logic that this is Aram.
Yeah, I mean, like,
The changeling took Aram, beat him up, made him tell him the dark secret.
That's crazy. I wouldn't do that to my boy.
no,
I think
they're not.
Okay.
To that way,
Guys, really? It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at him.
you did tell us. But
It's your Aram.
Yeah, but Arrow Mimsy thought it was you too.
Well, yeah, but Minzy's dumb. I love her. It's true. But she's an airhead. I love her.
It's true.
I've known her my whole life.
We're kind of dumb too, but
I know, but I love you guys.
Oh, one time I told her to guard a room, and she was so confused as to why I asked her to do it. She kept asking, and she was so weirded out by it. I was like, Mimsy, I just want a little bit of, I want a second set of eyes.
She
Mimsy."
was really weirded out by that whole thing.
Fuck, Mimsy, I just need your help.
And as you guys,
It was my only interaction with you, too. I don't know
as you
anything
guys
else.
are running down this street, Renna, you kind of pull ahead a little bit as they're all bickering amongst themselves and looking at Aram, and you see at the end of the street, in the direction that you're all going, you see that person you were chasing after in the dream. And every corner you turn, they are going around the same exact one. You're following in the footsteps of something you've only seen in dreams. And as you all get into Broken Mirror territory, running into no resistance as you go, you stand in the square of their headquarters, the Sinew Sculpt Theater. Arranged all around, like on the rooftops and the awning of the theater and like the marquee, are the players of the Broken Mirror. All of them in their like strange, macabre Bob Fosse dance poses with their weird weapons, all looking down at all of you. And who should be leading the throng but Thrasilos the Shattered?
That motherfucker.
And standing beside him with an unconscious Ashrin in her arms is Citra, weeping.
You're right.
And she looks up at him and says, I leave the rest to you. And she, with Ashrin, just falls back into the theater through like a hatch and down. And Thrasilos smiles and says, I told you the next time we met, it would not be as allies. I've unlocked the secret that I need. I don't need any of you anymore. Be kind to them. Make it quick, my players. Don't let them follow us into Thalanis. And Thrasilos descends into the theater as the host of the Broken Mirror descends upon you. And that is where we're going to end
God
tonight's
damn.
episode of
Damn.
Eberron,
Damn.
City of Towers.
That's crazy.
You want to pull up that art of Thrasilos the Shattered again? Do you have it available?
I don't. That's
I
what
don't
you
think I
get.
do.
Bummer. That's all right. You want to pull up that art of Citra again?
Yeah.
I got Citra.
Sorry, Trip.
We should also pass memes over at least.
Let's see those memes. This will be the
See the
last time we do
I
it for a
forgot to
while.
put them.
Oh.
Let me go do that.
We'll just
That's
send
all
them
right.
to you.
Oh my god.
We
this
didn't quite
episode.
get to everything I
Holy
wanted to
cow.
get to tonight, but I hope you all had fun.
I pushed the button.
Yeah, but that was probably before we got the ATIM.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's not true. It's before I switched to OBS. Spencer, can you just put base overlay?
whoops.
I can do
Base
it.
overlay.
I can do it. I can do it. I did it.
Oh, I see.
Yippee!
Well, that's fine. We don't need to see Citra. We know what she
No,
looks
I,
like.
I was just
Go into our Discord.
offhandedly laughing at the statement of not laughing, but in my head the idea of like the grandfather killing the grandson, and how it's not willing, like no one should ever have to go through that or anything. And then thinking about what Aaron is currently doing to Beerbot against Hill
True.
is
Yeah.
kind of the equivalent of
Yeah,
the grandfather
yeah.
killing the grandson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is just yeah. My
layers.
my
There's
brain
layers to this.
it's like an onion. My brain put it
like an
together
onion.
and went,
Sorry I
"Oops,
kidnapped your sister.
holy cow!"
Oh, give her
She was
that. Citra's gonna turn my sister into a mushroom or something.
Hey, write a fanfic.
Yeah, she's gonna go to Thalatos and turn your sister into a mushroom.
and then go.
But why is
Of all things, a
I don't know.
not a rabbit.
No.
why is she running in front of us?
Almost done.
Oh, good. Aid writer of fanfic donated $20. Thank
Hey,
you.
thanks, Aid.
They said, because this is the last one for a while, I just wanted to once again say thank you. This game has been such a light in those dark times.
I'm very glad to hear that.
I'm glad to be a part of this community. It's really helped with so much.
That's good.
Thank
I'm glad.
you.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that you're not suffering because I am.
It's
We
you know,
suffer for their enjoyment.
Yep.
I was
I
gonna-
say we. Look, I don't enjoy hurting you guys. It's just It's just what I gotta do.
I was gonna
We
say,
made
I
it
always
too
end up.
easy, guys.
I don't enjoy it.
Oh, yes, you do.
I don't.
We made
Yeah,
it.
you
It breaks my heart. I am
No.
It broke
actually,
my
I haven't
heart
had
to
that
put
conversation with all of you yet. Never mind.
What?
Thank you. All right. Here we go,
If
folks.
I have any one thing to say about this episode as Jacob and not as Azeroth, Thora. Thora, I get why she's going for it. I get why she is the way she is. But the fact that she has to be like, and fuck you, Severin, for doing that. It's like the fact that she has to make it Severin's fucking problem makes me so upset. I hate it so much. She's such a fucking hypocrite. Oh my god, I hate her. Anyways, sorry.
You want to know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid that Merrick's knows that Beerbot's lying.
Oh, I think.
And
I think so.
I should say it's not that she's a bad character. I'm not saying like
she's great.
It's like Joffrey Baratheon. It's like, wow, what a well acted, well written, amazing character. I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Jack Gleason is a very talented actor.
Oh god. Yeah,
we
like
have-
you're doing great.
Thank you.
Thora, when I catch you, Thora.
We have this will be the last bit of memes from Eberron for a while. We'll be gone for maybe about a month, possibly more. We will see. But we have one from Sonata.
I know I was gonna say Sonata.
Did Albert submit a meme?
I asked him to.
Oh
there we
yeah.
go.
This one's for you, Albert.
He's here in spirit.
It's an anime girl. She's holding up a picture of herself smiling, and she's like crying behind it. It says, online I'm fine, but IRL I'm Mexican. What are you trying to say here, bro?
The text is gone.
It's like a completely different font.
yeah.
Those are my favorite. So funny.
All right, Zaraphis.
Oh God, it's this one.
It's hashtag hot girls love pro wrestling, and it's this girl posting some pictures of herself as a reply that says, "Are you in Mississippi? Because you're the only miss who's besides Sippy." That's crazy, dog. That's insane. I can't believe you made me say that. I hope Ethan and Nate are still watching so that they can text me if you're still watching, boys. Let me know if you heard me say that.
Oh, that one's
Severin.
incredible.
This feels targeted. This feels personal.
Man, it's in my Fort Jack memes, but it's because I thought it was funny.
It's a cat that is like It's like
Yeah.
it's staring pensively, and then it's like leaning up against a wine glass, and it says undiagnosed, but something ain't right. Rena. My daily routine with ADHD. Wake up, do fucking nothing for 5 hours, panic, do stuff in a panic for 1 to 2 hours, hyperfixate on doing one thing for 4 hours, in parentheses, the wrong thing, existential dread, make pact with myself to break out of this pattern tomorrow, repeat pattern tomorrow. Very true, very true.
That's been my life for months now.
I feel you.
And I feel terrible.
It's rough. It's rough. We'll get through it. Maybe baby break is what we need.
I know,
Stick.
right? Maybe. Uh-oh.
This is insane. She calls me Paul Atreides because of what my worm is doing to her.
Hell
That's crazy. Duke Paul Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. Beer
What are
bot.
you doing at noon?
It's the Dr. Pepper bottle on a strap, and it says Dr. Pepper. She finds it. This is insane.
XC everything out, baby.
No.
He sent me that like days ahead of time.
I said that
I
a
do
week
that with
ago.
Spencer sometimes where I'm like, I need this. I need you to see this.
It'll be Monday. It'll be like my meme for Friday.
And from the members, last but certainly not least, thank you so much for
It's
supporting
not
us.
gonna-
Your pick.
Don't vote for my meme. Vote for Sonata instead. It's Sonata It's a Sonata for Council King/God of Hell.
My favorite thing is that it's Albert posting vote for
Yes.
Sonata instead, and then it's Sonata sitting at a desk with a
portrait
portrait of Sonata behind him.
This is
That's
gold.
really good.
This is gold. Oh my god.
Albert gave us 2 weeks.
In a way, I guess
So
it did.
I will say in no. In Albert's defense.
Oh, he got voted for, right?
He put that first, and then I messaged him without looking at the members yet, and he went, "Oh, that was what the members was for." But okay, I'll give you one. And I
Hell
was like,
yeah.
"All right,
Hell
I'll let
yeah.
I'll let
All right,
So
sounds
no,
good.
it was my fault.
Amazing.
It was my fault.
All right. Well,
No, it's Albert's fault.
No.
hey,
I should have read that.
You jacked.
Hi, rules lawyer.
what?
Oh,
is Rules Lawyer
Yeah,
here?
he's here.
What's up, Ronald?
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You caught us like right at the
Right
end.
at the end.
Unless you've been here the whole time, in which case, thank you for joining us.
yeah.
If you just tuned in, if you've been here the whole
This
time.
was the least Pathfinder episode we ever played.
Yeah, unfortunately,
It was like
we were going to roll dice, and then things happened, and we didn't.
we rolled.
But tune in.
dice?
Oh,
I
you
rolled
rolled some
a
dice.
10.
You rolled some dice.
I
rolled dice
I rolled-
for you.
I didn't roll
I had
anything.
dice ruled for me.
I don't roll.
I had dice.
roll.
I
I,
rolled
yeah,
dice
no,
for
I
you.
didn't roll. I flipped my coin, but I
I
didn't
rolled
roll
dice
a dice
for you. Yeah.
You didn't roll any dice for me?
No, yeah, we did. This was a roleplay episode.
I'm
rolled-
roleplay today, and you're
Yeah.
roleplay today.
Yeah, next time will be roll and play because we're going to Thalanis, folks.
Oh boy.
To find
back.
Crosilos
Go
and
home.
Ashran. But yeah, this will be the last time you see us for a while, guys. Is there anything you want to say to our wonderful viewers for who have been watching Eberron?
There might be Fallout next week.
What?
Maybe. We'll
Asterisks.
See. We'll see. She's
Maybe,
saying,
we'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see.
I said, I just said we'll see.
Yeah.
On next Saturday?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Okay, tune in for that. But yeah, any final thoughts, folks?
Rules Lawyer did make a comment just now.
Oh, what did he say?
Hi, I've had it on for 2 hours
Dude!
while working on a brief, lol, and now 1 month break, huh?
Oh, I know, but hey,
Sorry.
well, good luck with the brief, and I mean, hey, that's several. You got a month to catch up on the rest of the show.
38 episodes.
I'm saying now is a great time to tune in.
That's
we will.
great, yeah,
We will.
there'll
We'll still be
things
doing
happening.
stuff
It
as
just
well.
Might not be Pathfinder.
It won't be-
Might
it
be
won't-
other things.
It'll be other things. We've got a lot of fun
Yeah.
stuff planned for you guys, so stay tuned. But unless anything else
I
from
love
you
all
guys,
you guys, but also come on.
Yeah.
guys,
We made it too easy for him, guys. Gave
guys.
him the
I'm-
sad backstory.
I'm
Yeah.
sick. Thank
No,
you,
I'm
Spencer.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna be
This
honest.
is why Spencer is my
It
favorite.
wasn't. It
I put the
wasn't.
boy in a tomb and said maybe he has the mark of death.
It wasn't easy at all for the beer bot side. Like honestly, Jack has like taken what I wanted to do with beer bot to like another level.
I'm glad.
So
I pretty much gave Jack an empty backstory.
It's been fun.
And
It's
you
been
can-
fun.
You go. Well, no, actually, I did give you
A little bit, but I
little
mean,
bit,
I'm
not-
glad. I'm glad. I'm so grateful to have such amazing players who let me do all kinds of terrible stuff to their characters.
That's half the fun.
But it's
There we go. Yeah.
all right. Anyways, we love you all. Mwah, mwah. 2 kisses for each of you. We will see you real soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.